You know that more frozen bananas are sold right here on this boardwalk than anywhere in the OC?
Don't call it that.
Only the best looking and best educated lawyer in the whole OC.
Don't call it that.
It's Britney, bitch.
And Dialog everywhere like such as.
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Out, Charlie! Out!
Our next door neighbors are foreign countries.
I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Remember Shuffle. My name is Ben. With me as always is my co-host Giordano.
Hey fellas, I can't believe I'm on Remember Shuffle. I love the shuffle. Wow, this is really a big day for me. I think what you boys are doing here is really great. Sticking it to those Republicans. You know, when I was at Berkeley, I was on college radio, where we once interviewed Billy Joel Eilish, the singer from Green Day.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen.
First of all, Dad, it actually makes it so much less cool that you like the show. You're like the kryptonite to coolness. You are to cool what Mom is to cooking. It's bad. It's not good. It's, shall we say, anathema? Tag. You're tagged in. Go.
Thank you, younger Cohen. And today we are joined by Dan, aka Troop Hater. Say hi, Dan.
Was that?
Yes.
Remember that? Remember that Budweiser commercial? That's good stuff.
That's what we do on our show. We go, you remember? You remember that?
Hey, remember that time when there was a commercial?
You couldn't make a commercial like that anymore.
Folks, you couldn't make this commercial anymore. What's up? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you may remember Mr. Troop from our Hipsters episode. Been trying to get him back on ever since, but it's been very difficult. I was shocked when you said yes to come on for the OC.
I mean, you can't afford me, so you're lucky that I'm doing this.
Yeah, only after we started the Patreon could we afford to bring back the illustrious Troop Hater.
That's right.
These are the kinds of changes we can make with the show now that we have Patreon money coming in.
We're talking about the OC today, folks.
I think I can speak for all of us when I say that I liked this show so much more than I expected to. I loved this show in high school, and so, like, of course, I have this nostalgic attachment to it. But I was very surprised, Ben, you didn't watch this in high school, and you were like, I now love this show, too.
Dude, I fucking love the OC. Giordano really thought that I would hate it. I watched maybe half a dozen episodes in high school, and it didn't really click with me. But this show consumed my life this past week. Got a buddy of mine, he's a gay guy. He was watching me watch this show, and he said that, Ben, I love this for you. This would be like if I rolled into the gay bar and was like, what's up, divas? Have you been watching Landman? It's really good.
Yeah, there's something about a coming-of-age story that I've always really liked. You know, when you are this age, I feel like it is the perfect setting for melodrama because in high school, you're experiencing like all these emotions for the first time and you don't really know how to deal with them at all. And so everything is like the worst thing that's ever happened to you.
Or the best thing that's ever happened to you.
Or the best thing that's ever happened to you, true.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like a very appropriate setting for a melodrama. And I was brought back to high school a lot watching this show, you know, because there are so many little relatable moments with the love triangle and the heartbreak, the teen angst.
Mm-hmm.
Stealing cars, yeah. Things we all did in high school.
In your like late 20s, early 30s, I feel like you can have entire years where you remember like 4 or 5 details of what happened. But the things that happened to you in high school are so burned into your psyche because it's the first time that things have happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
They end up having a much more pronounced nostalgic effect on your life than like something from your 20s. I've found anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like this show was like a lodestar when it was coming out. It was like such a cultural touchstone that its legacy is sort of not as big as it was in the moment. I think people look back on the OC fondly, but when it was out, it was like, this is the show. And it was so good. And I loved it. It had like normie sensibilities. It was on fucking Fox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it was edgy in a way that nothing on like network TV, like I don't think there was anything contemporary in that era that was like this, you know?
I think what people usually say is like the best network TV show from that decade is The West Wing. And
Jesus.
I had such a more fun time watching this show than I did The West Wing, that's for sure.
The West Wing is the least fun show ever made. You're not supposed to have fun when you watch it.
It does have some fast-talking Jews, but it's way less fun.
Yeah, Dan, I think you're right. Where like in the 2000s, this was this cultural juggernaut, and it was a PG-13 network drama.
Right.
And there were a bunch more of them, One Tree Hill, Friday Night Lights, Veronica Mars, Gossip Girl, Smallville, I think you can put in there as well. And I think what's kind of interesting is that I don't think they make many of these anymore. And if they do, they've been migrated to streaming. What they make now is like R-rated teen content. They make Euphoria.
Right.
And I don't know how much the teens are actually watching that.
No, it's more for like horny 30-year-old guys.
Yeah, precisely. I think part of the reason I love this show in particular is, like Giordano said, when you're a teenager, you're feeling these things for the first time, and you're such a fucking narcissist. You're like, I'm the first person to ever be in love. I'm the first person to ever have my heart broken. And then you throw on the show with Ryan and Seth and your friends, Summer and Marissa, and you see that maybe you're not that unique. Maybe it's something to guide you through being in the world in some way, shape, or form, even though it's ludicrously over the top and unrealistic.
But I think it leans into soap opera territory almost immediately, which is almost endearing in a way because it's so over the top and so ridiculous. That was what it felt like to be that age. So it sort of feels like a good encapsulation of that.
Yeah, 100%. Like some of the show creators said it was a Trojan horse where they're like, we're going to have the teen soap opera, but what we really care about is good character-driven drama, and this is what we need to do to get there or whatever. And I think why the show ascends beyond the level of soap opera is that it's a little bit more ambitious. It tries to do things with comedy. It's definitely funnier than any soap opera would be. It tries to have some fun little winking meta lines. There's better fucking music than any soap opera ever would.
Thank God you said it. The soundtrack is insane. I even knew that like as a kid, being into punk and emo and going to see Taking Back Sunday when I was 15 years old. Not to date myself because I'm redacted years old, but
yeah, that's a flex right there, Dad. I'm jealous.
Yeah, well, The Electric Factory, Philadelphia, 2000 blank. We're just going to leave that part empty. But like in the pilot episode, there's an All-American Rejects drop. They play Swing Swing, which is a great song. And then there's a Mazzy Star needle drop. Crazy for a teen soap opera Fox show. Whoever was doing the music and just like the sensibilities of the show creators was just more advanced for the era, I feel.
100%.
Yeah. This show had the music taste of the guy at my high school with the best music sensibility. I shout out our friend Tommy, who would show up wearing the Death Cab for Cutie and Modest Mouse t-shirts before anyone was aware of what they were.
I forget what episode it is in season 1, but Rooney plays.
Yeah, that Rooney was funny because it's like, that's the least successful band that was on that show. It's like season 1 before they have the pull that they would eventually get. Season 2, they have both Modest Mouse and The Killers on.
That's crazy.
And The Killers had just dropped Hot Fuss. And I think that they were scrambling a little bit more. But it's good to know that Rooney isn't just like a joke.
I mean, they probably are now.
Unlike The Killers and Modest Mouse.
Yeah, like those are two massive bands. And, Rooney certainly pales, but I don't know. Shut up is a good point.
we have a music section later, so let's.
Oh, my bad. I didn't get the outline.
You didn't get the outline. I sent it to you last night. Let's finish up our intro here.
The last thing I'll say for why the show rocks and why it's worth talking about is that the OC is an aspirational show. What if you came of age in the most affluent place in America with perfect weather, but you also still got to hate everyone who was around you, right? It is a show that's constantly trying to have its cake and eat it too. Like, look at these shallow, awful, materialistic people who are the worst rich people on earth, except for all of our named characters who are actually awesome and moral and good.
Right.
It's kind of an early model for this type of show about white people, one that's satirizing rich white people. But it also indulges in this.
There's just a winking aspect to sort of everything that they do. We are in on the joke, but we're also sort of naive about it.
Yeah. And I think this is like, if you make the comparison to our contemporary shows about awful white people, like Succession and The White Lotus would be the two examples that jump to my mind. And Succession has the most biting satire. When Logan Roy says to his children, "You are not serious people," that's like the encapsulation of what this show is about. It's about fail sons, unserious people.
Yeah.
Sandy Cohen from The OC is an extremely serious person, right?
I remember watching it when I was a teenager. I was like, man, I wish that was my dad.
He's the best character on the show.
Best head of hair on the show, that's for sure.
Best eyebrows of hair on the show.
Beast, dude. Peter Gallagher, let's go.
All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the history of the show, just like how it came to be. If you weren't aware, it was actually run by Josh Schwartz is the showrunner. The youngest showrunner in history at the time, 26 years old.
Jesus Christ.
Running a network TV show, putting out, what did the first season have, like 27 episodes? I can't imagine. He was put in this position by a guy named Mick G. Are you familiar with Mick G?
I am, yeah. He was like the director of photography, right?
An executive producer of some kind. Maybe he was the DP as well, but he was a guy who grew up in Newport and was a music producer, friends with some of the biggest hits from the 90s. Sugar Ray.
Folks, have you heard of this?
Have you heard of Sugar Ray? One of his primary producers works with Smash Mouth, The Offspring, 90s California middlebrow heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute heavyweights, dude.
And so I think he recognizes that this region is having a moment in the late 90s. We're going to get so much content from Orange County in the 2000s, like Arrested Development, Veronica Mars, The Offspring, Laguna Beach, The OC, The Real Housewives of Orange County is the original Bravo Real Housewives show.
Isn't there that movie with Tom Hanks' kid, too?
Yeah, Orange County.
Orange County, yeah.
Exactly. And so I think that it is this place that is ripe for parody or social commentary that he recognizes. And it's like, I want to make a show. So he gets this guy from the East Coast, Josh Schwartz, to write it up, a show about young adults.
As I was watching this show for kind of the first time, I immediately clocked, this is California as viewed from an outsider. This is not a local's perspective. Even if one of the three showrunners grew up there, I'm like, this is someone whose knowledge of California comes from listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. Everything's fake out there, man. And once again, I asked my roommate, I was like, guess what state this guy's from? And he first guessed Ohio, which was a great guess. But he clocked it second shot, he's like Connecticut. Because like the characters are just a little bit too cultured and a little bit too smart and a little bit too knowledgeable for this to be a Midwest imagination. This is what someone from the East Coast imagines California to be like.
Yeah, and if you listen to our Abercrombie and Fitch episode, that's the same story there, right? Abercrombie and Fitch, they're from Ohio, and it's their conception of what WASP New England culture looks like. Right? Mm-hmm. It almost ends up being more idealized if we don't get it from somebody from there and we get it from somebody who has this conception in their mind of what the idealized Orange County life looks like.
I mean, it is like an East Coast elite thing to look over to the West Coast and be like, I know what it would be like if I grew up there, if I was super rich and drove those elevated trucks and had every privilege in the world.
Right. Like Ben said, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. And what we mean by that is they're trying to criticize this society, this class and social organization, while also clearly being a part of it. But the instinct to criticize it comes from the fact that they're from the East Coast. Mm-hmm. Whenever they portray people who aren't in our circle of friends that we like, those people are vapid. They're stupid. They have no morals. They're hollow.
It's a cultural wasteland.
Exactly. Every time you see the interior of a nice McMansion, it has the warmth of, when they shoot like a Brazzers video at like a nice house?
Do I?
Like it's all just like sterile and cold.
I was gonna say it feels like a doctor's office.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that is like reflected in the fact that the showrunner is from the East Coast. But let's get into the premise, because there's probably a lot of people out there who you're like, okay, what the hell is going on? I never heard of this show. What's the premise? So premise of this show, we're going to go over the pilot first, and then we'll talk about the characters, and then we'll talk about some of our favorite episodes. So this is the pilot. The first person we're introduced to, Ryan Atwood, played by Ben McKenzie, now known for being one of the crypto hawks. He went on Chapo once to talk about his crypto book, but
isn't he like an anti-crypto guy?
He's very anti-crypto, though.
Yeah, Crypto Hawks makes it sound like he's selling crypto.
Yeah, it makes it sound like he's like a Bored Ape Club guy.
he's a crypto hater.
Yeah.
Crypto skeptic.
Crypto_hater.
Crypto hater. Crypto skeptic Ben McKenzie plays Ryan Atwood, who is from sort of like the shameless part of LA. He's from Inland Empire, Chino. His mom is Fiona from Shameless, basically. And so him and his brother, Trey, are stealing a car. They're caught by police and they're sent to jail. And he's assigned public defender Sandy Cohen. Hello, it's me. It's Peter Gallagher.
Ryan, you got to think about your future, kid. You're really smart.
So Ryan is speaking with Sandy, and Ryan is cynical, right? He's dejected. He says, by 2025, Social Security will run out.
No, he says the year 2025. That's how you know how old we are and how like dated the show is, because he says the year 2025 like it's this unachievable date that will never happen.
Right.
And it was last year.
It was last year now. True. Damn. Yeah, he's giving like a very much like an Ed Norton in Fight Club impression, I think. But I think the point that they're trying to make is that he's cynical. He's a dumb kid, you know?
He's not thinking about the future. He's got no plan.
He's got no plan.
Yeah, he thinks the future is fucked anyway, so who cares, right? And Sandy, he goes, my God, look at these test scores, 98th percentile. You are too white and too good at standardized tests to be poor.
There is a weird, like, he wants to fuck him.
He wants his son to fuck. I think that's my kind of...
Yeah, but he also kind of wants to fuck him. I mean, who wouldn't?
His drunk mom picks him up, Fiona from Shameless. As soon as they get back to the house, he's thrown out by his stepfather, right? So Ryan, he's making pay phone calls. He's looking for a place to crash. He can't find anywhere. So out of desperation, he calls Sandy Cohen. He's got his business card, who drives Ryan from Chino to the OC, creating our title sequence.
Set to one of the all-time greatest theme songs of all time.
I mean, like, untouchable, dude. It's so fucking good.
It's amazing.
And it's like the extended version plays while he's making these phone calls. It's beautiful. It's cinema.
Mm-hmm.
I think either the drummer or the singer to Phantom Planet is Jason Schwartzman.
Whoa.
Yeah, who was the model for Seth Cohen. Like when they were in the writer's room coming up with these characters, they gave them, this is kind of what we're imagining, and Jason Schwartzman was the Seth stand-in.
So Ryan ends up at the Cohens' house. He's going to stay in the pool house, and we have our meet cute. He meets the quite literal girl next door, Marissa Cooper, while he's smoking at the end of the driveway like he's James Dean, and she asks him for a cigarette. It's great. Bring back teens smoking in fiction.
You couldn't have this scene with a vape. It just would not hit the same.
No, he couldn't light her vape with his vape.
No.
And he does the thing where he like puts a cigarette in his teeth. The coolest thing anyone can ever do.
Mm-hmm.
And Marissa, in front of Sandy, invites Ryan to the fashion show party happening the following night. And Sandy is busting in his pants at the idea that this potential surrogate son is not a nerd. I think Sandy wants his son to get pussy so bad that when he sees Ryan getting invited to a party immediately, speaking more words to the hot girl next door than his son ever has in like one day, his ears are perked up.
Absolute Chad move.
The juices are flowing in Sandy Cohen's brain. He is scheming.
Finally, someone will save my chud son.
My virgin son. And so, like we said, we just met Marissa, the girl next door. Let's talk a little bit about her for a second. She's the daughter of a white-collar criminal father, and he's a financial analyst. I think Matt Christman described him as like old Gil from The Simpsons.
Yeah, he just fucks everything up. He's just a moron.
And his wife, Marissa's mother, is Julie Cooper, one of the other all-time great characters of this show.
Maybe the hottest woman who's ever lived. Like, my God, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. The like contrast between her eyes and hair.
It's crazy, dude.
Insane. So Julie Cooper, very judgmental, very undermining. She says to her daughter, Marissa, that she should wear the Donna Verona dress or something. She says, it's very forgiving. You should wear that dress, which is so funny because Misha Barton is probably like 78 pounds. But the idea that she's this type of mom, you could be this skinny and your mom would still be like, yeah, you're just too fat for most clothes. You'll actually offend the clothes by wearing them.
Yeah.
They go to the fashion show party, and Seth experiences being with the cool kids for the first time. He's drinking, he sees people doing drugs, girls in bikinis. Oh, hey, look, cocaine.
It is sick that right when they walk into a teenage party, there's just guys blasting lines. Like,
Yeah.
And there's like the guys with like the huge bongs wearing like the drug rugs. Remember
Yes.
drug rugs?
Yeah. I do remember buying one of those and wearing it like 2 times, but
Yeah, I definitely had one.
So Seth has a childhood crush on this girl from town, Summer Roberts. He's like named his boat after her. He's never met her. But a drunk Summer is then hitting on Ryan. So this pisses off Seth, obviously. And he flips out on Ryan and in front of the entire party tells everybody that Ryan is from Chino.
Ew.
Yeah, Summer literally says, ew.
Chino? Ew. Everybody looks at Ryan with disdain after this because they know his class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Seth, he leaves. He immediately starts getting bullied on the beach by Luke, Marissa's boyfriend.
Water polo star.
He's mega Chad, dude.
He is.
He has like his
Yeah.
chest hair out. He's like 16 years old with like full chest hair and chiseled jaw. We love Luke is the man.
Yeah.
He's quite literally an Abercrombie and Fitch model.
Yeah.
And he gets nicknamed Abercrombie or Fitch by like certain characters on the show at some point.
Yeah. I was watching this with someone. They said that he dresses like a bisexual fuckboy today, like in 2026. And I think it's because Luke is dressing for the bisexual male gaze, given that he worked for Abercrombie and Fitch and for Bruce Weber for years. He's internalized how he's portraying himself. Ryan comes to Seth's aid, who's being bullied by Luke. You know, he starts punching people, something that Ryan will do in nearly every episode.
Every single fucking episode, there's some kind of fight between the poor kid and some rich kids.
Yeah. You know what I like about rich kids? Nothing. Yeah. Despite Ryan coming in to help, the two of them get their asses beat, which bonds them together. Seth references Fight Club. He says, you really had my back there. And they become friends.
You're missing the most important part. When Luke says,
welcome to the OC, bitch, which is probably the most enduring quote from the show.
I don't know if you remember, before the show came out, they would do like teaser trailers and commercials. I remember that was always they said bitch in the commercial. Like they had that line in it.
Wow.
And I was like, I got to watch this show.
They say bitch on TV?
Yeah, like you can say that?
What is this, freaking South Park? Meanwhile, Marissa, who's like our troubled girl next door, she's getting carried home by her friends and left on the front porch because she's like 78 pounds and drinking to hide her pain.
Recurring theme.
Yeah. Her friends tell her, oh my God, she gets so retarded sometimes.
Yeah, they do drop a hard R.
Yeah.
I mean, the good one. Not the bad one. But yeah, it was kind of like jarring. Just rewatch it where it's just like, yeah, she gets freaking retarded. And they're like laughing and just leave her lifeless body on the concrete. It's like, okay.
Yep.
Well, this is kind of the magic that the show can always pull, is to be like, listen, we are satirizing a society that does exist, a meanness that does exist. This is the beauty of doing a critical show like this, is you can always say, hey, we're not glorifying this. This is how people actually exist. We're making fun of these people.
We low-key live in a society.
Dude, have you ever thought about how children hide things from their parents, but parents also hide things for their children? Isn't that kind of fucked up?
Have you ever considered that money can't buy happiness?
Ryan carries Marissa into the pool house to sleep. They play Mazzy Star.
Yeah, and the episode closes with Kirsten, Sandy's wife, very pissed that her son came home drunk and beat up, and she wants Ryan gone. Sandy drives Ryan back to Chino, but his mom and her deadbeat boyfriend have run away. They've cleared out every item in the house, but...
Yeah, they had time to hire movers and like take the shitty couch and recliner. Like
he was gone for one day.
There's like tumbleweeds going through the house. Like, come on, man.
But she's watched Arrested Development, so she left a note. You always leave a note.
Always.
So Sandy takes Ryan back to the OC, and even though it takes 3 full episodes where they're like, oh, is he going to go into foster care? Is he going to do this other thing? Eventually, the Cohen family formally adopts Ryan into their home. He is a surrogate son to Sandy and Kirsten, a surrogate brother to Seth. He's the outsider in this new rich world. And this is the setting and premise of the OC.
Yeah, this is the basic premise that we're going to live with. Is like these two boys, right? Both outsiders for different reasons. Seth Cohen because he is a Jewish nerd, and Ryan Atwood because he is
poor.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think of The Blind Side, but it's like a white-on-white version of The Blind Side. Because like there's a scene, I think it's in the pilot, where Sandy gives him one of his suits, and like Ryan's like putting on the suit. He's like, you look good, kid. Wow, it fits perfectly. It's like, dude, what are you doing here? It's like, now we're going to go to this party and you're going to be good.
Yeah. Instead of not being able to read, it's like, this boy can't sail. We need to teach him how to sail. We should do a Blindside episode at some point.
I've never seen it, but I'd love to.
It's so sick, dude.
All right, so having introduced all of our characters very briefly, let's do a little deep dive into each of them, because I think at its best, this show is a character-driven drama.
Absolutely. And let's start with probably the most well-known character from this show, Mr. Seth Cohen, a guy who redefined what it was like to be a nerd, or at least captured a spirit of what it was like to be a cool nerd in the 2000s. He is first and foremost a hipster, I think, right? That's like the best way to describe him. And I think an interesting connection to Dan's last appearance on this show. He defines himself by his taste in art, right? Whether it be music or comic books or comedy, his media consumption is how he feels better than other people, right? Mm-hmm. There's an episode where Summer starts dating another guy. And the thing that pisses Seth Cohen off the most is that this guy likes Jay Leno, right? Like, he is someone who like has better taste than that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Seth watches Jon Stewart, not Jay Leno.
Exactly, yeah. He's inspired, partly by Josh Schwartz, the showrunner, but also by Adam Brody, who was in an indie band at this time.
Adam Brody being the actor who plays Seth, right? He's inspired by the actor who plays him.
Right, of course.
Is there like a male term for manic pixie dream girl? Because he is that. Well, I mean, his character came to stand for like this archetype of like...
He is manic.
Yeah.
He is into the pixies.
I think the word adorkable would kind of work to describe him.
Oh, yeah.
In the same way they use it for Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah.
He says to Ryan at one point in season 2, I can't believe Bright Eyes has 2 albums in the top 10. I can't believe everyone's caught up to me. Tell me I'm still special. Right?
I just got like a chill down my spine when you said that. Brutal.
He's also very sarcastic, self-effacing, very pop culture obsessed.
Yeah, just in terms of his self-effacingness, there's this moment in the episode where it's revealed that Luke has a gay dad and it breaks up their marriage. All of our main characters are about to re-enter high school, and they're all apprehensive and nervous about going back there and their reputation and what people are going to think. And Luke says, I'm going to be the guy with the gay dad. And Marissa says, I'm going to be the girl who OD'd in Mexico. Ryan says something like, I'm going to be the guy from Chino who punches people. And Seth says, and I'm going to be Seth Cohen, right? His trauma is that he has this annoying personality that is equivalent to all these other things.
Yeah, he's very neurotic, kind of like a George from Seinfeld, always self-obsessed with his own problems and neuroses. And he's someone who will just keep speaking at length until somebody else says something. It's like he's on a motor. His ability to be constantly self-obsessed, and he always has something to say, and it's usually about his own faults.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's actually the most interesting about his character is that he is just as bad as the people that he hates.
Yes.
He hates the excess and the richness and the self-obsessedness, but he does it with the front facing of being a cool nerd.
Right.
But it's like the only thing that defines him is his consumption of media, of whatever. And he's just is like a nerd.
That's what's so interesting about him, right? Because like on the surface, it's like, okay, he's the son of the richest family in town who thinks he is better than everyone. Like, That's what I think we mean when we say like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. Where it's like, okay, Seth Cohen is an outsider. He's not like these people. But only because he thinks he's better than these people, but he's still just as rich as them.
Which is good writing.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the most memorable character from this show because so many people then tried to emulate him, and he became such a trope guy of that era, of like the soy millennial era.
I had a guy, like one of my good friends that I worked with at the time, decided to change his entire personality to become Seth Cohen, like wear the same clothes as him, act like him, get into all of the things that he was into. Like, I'm going to start reading comic books. I'm going to listen to these bands. Like,
was this guy you?
No, I was like Zach. I was like the cool version of.
Yeah, I was totally Ryan.
No.
Yeah, there's a moment in the episode where Ryan delivers the iconic line, you know what I like about rich kids? Nothing.
Freaking nothing, pal.
Where Seth, who's like chatting and motoring his mouth away, is just like, well, you wouldn't call me rich, right? I'm more like upper middle class, which is the classic deflection that rich people say. No, I'm not rich. I'm just like tippy top of the middle class.
Right. I'm upper working class.
Yeah, the actor in his audition sounds like an asshole. We didn't mention this up top, but we read this book called Welcome to the OC that is an oral history of the show.
Yeah, it's written by Alan Sepinwall. It's really good. I liked it.
Yeah. The actor, Adam Brody, just came in, ad-libbed his entire lines. At one point, he was lying down on the floor of his audition. He didn't read a single word that they had written for him. And it's like, this is it. You've got it.
You already are Seth Cohen.
He kept trying to audition for Ryan too, which is like a very Seth thing to do. To be like, I don't want to play this guy. I want to play this guy, you know? But Adam Brody has talked a lot about his performance. And I do find it fascinating because the real life Adam Brody is also a hipster, right? And so, of course, he hates the fact that he's on this show and his role in it because, yeah, he's an actor on a teen drama, like a middle-brow teen drama. And so naturally, he has this revulsion to like the fact that he's associated with this. And like after the first season, because you sign a 6-year contract when you agree to be on a show like this, he was like, I was trying to see how little work I could do and like not be sued or fired. And so there was like a running joke that all of the scripts would end up stacked outside of his trailer because he would refuse to read them. He would learn the lines when he arrived on set and publicly was like, I cannot wait till this show gets canceled or they write me off. Because as a hipster, you can't be on a show called The OC, a teen drama when you're 26 years old. Apparently when he left on the last day of filming, his quote to the crew after they all said goodbye was, well, it's been lucrative.
Sick.
Such a dick thing. It's been lucrative for you, man. But this is like a recurring theme in that book is basically like him, Ben McKenzie, and Misha Barton all had similar experiences where they're like, we do not want to be here anymore. And when Chris Pratt shows up, because Chris Pratt is like a regular in the 4th season, he was like, I don't get it. Why are you guys so moody about this workplace? You work in LA, you get VIP perks, you're on a fun TV show together. Get over it. You know, he's just like not understanding like, why is everyone so sad about being on this show? Why are the vibes so bad?
And then he added, and have you heard about our personal Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?
Also, have you signed up for the CIA? But it's funny that Adam Brody's career never went anywhere after this, right? Like
he was on that Netflix show recently. He was on Nobody Wants This.
Nobody's watched that because I don't know what the fuck that is.
You're right, though. His view was like, my life is over, my career is over because I was on a teen drama.
But this was clearly the peak of his career.
Right.
Wasn't he in Jennifer's Body?
Yeah, I mean, he was in like a couple movies around this time. The problem is while you're filming this, it's so intensive that you can't be on anything else. And then you have like a brief window afterwards where you're still relevant that you can be in movies. So he was in like In the Land of Women.
Also, he did get like insanely typecast just because of playing an iconic character like that.
Yeah, so maybe he was right. Maybe his career was over.
Yeah.
Just final thoughts on Seth Cohen. He is like the self-insert for the showrunner and the director, Doug Liman. Doug Liman, the director, would even sleep in Seth's bed overnight. Like they felt a very profound connection to the idea of the Jewish outsider in the WASP crowd, right?
Yikes.
And the character itself is kind of an asshole, self-absorbed, but thankfully, you know, he has Sandy there, great father, to kind of guide him through these types of things. So let's move on to that character. Sandy Cohen, his father.
Okay, top line on Sandy Cohen that you need to say. The most important thing is that he is the world's greatest dad, and he loves dadding so fucking hard.
Absolute beast of a dad, dude. I need him in my life.
Yeah, and Peter Gallagher said he loved this role because dads on shows were frequently, Homer Simpson or Al Bundy. They were like buffoons in the butt of jokes. And he had a father who like didn't speak to him. So he's like, now I get to be a good dad on TV. And seemingly, he enjoys dadding Ryan the street tough more than his own son, at least at first. But he is a father figure to every single character on this show. To his son, to his sister-in-law, to Jimmy Cooper, a man his own age who somehow needs
his
like
wife's ex-boyfriend.
His wife's ex-boyfriend. He's like building him up and giving him fatherly advice. And there are too many instances of him going turbo dad mode that I took in my notes, but here's a good one, okay? Ryan is in trouble for starting a fight at school or whatever. He might get suspended. And he opens by saying, sit down. You can stand if you want, but you know how lawyers love to talk. And he gives this great speech about how sometimes you want to kick a little rich kid's ass, but you can't. And then he takes the turn where he says, we're always one mistake away from someone taking you from us, Ryan. So he gives like the advice, he lays down the law that he's like, I love you so much, they can't take you away from us. And then we close with a little bit of laughter. He says, Seth was never big into organized sports. I'd love to see you play and go win some of your games. He's going to Ryan's sports games. Just dad of the year.
Very enthusiastic father. It's very sweet to see. He's my favorite character. I think everyone's favorite character usually on this
Now
show.
that I'm thinking about it, he would be so annoying if it was a real guy. I'd be like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Well, that's how Seth treats him, basically. He's also, his other defining feature is that he is a bleeding heart liberal, right? He's a public defender, right? He's become a lawyer and he lives in this society. Again, he's an outsider too, because it's like, well, I'm a public defender. I make a modest salary doing good for the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surrounded by all these people, including my wife, who's a developer. Her family is like the Bluth family, basically.
Yep. And he's the son of an even more bleeding heart Jewish liberal, Nana Cohen, a social worker from the Bronx, who's literally going to forego chemotherapy because it would slow her down from helping the poor kids in the Bronx. She is so disappointed in Sandy because he's not giving up enough. She says, if you're happy, it's because you're not working hard enough to help others.
Good Lord.
I would say his third most defining trait to me is that he's like extremely horny. He talks often about like the Cohen genes for horniness and how like Seth will inherit his Cohen genes for horniness. Like at one point, his father-in-law commits fraud to ruin Sandy's business. And Sandy forgives his father-in-law because his wife implies that she'll like pleasure him if he does. He's like, oh, his eyebrows start wriggling around like
giant fucking eyebrows. My wife's gonna suck me off if I go broke.
Seth at one point loses his virginity and he's very bad in bed. And so he goes to Sandy for advice. And his dad's like, you're a Cohen. You need to be able to fuck well.
Yeah, Seth requests the sex talk from his father, and his father has to explain what foreplay is to him. And he's like so excited that his son is having
like
sex.
Busting while he's explaining it.
He's like, I've always waited for this day. And so, yeah, he's just like the most forgiving puppy dog person of all time. Like his wife is very wealthy and it's relieved him, I think, of having to have any stress about making money, which is like a nice position for him. Obviously, he's kind of got an ideal setup.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, if anyone's out there listening, please help me become him.
Help me become Sandy Cohen.
He just like goes surfing with like the longest board shorts you've ever seen. It's like, all right, dude.
Yeah, he's passionate about his hobbies. Another great trait. And it's funny, like, how forgiving he is to other people. Like, Jimmy, the guy who literally is, like, still trying to fuck his wife's ex-boyfriend, he gets arrested for defrauding all of his clients. And Sandy's like, I gotta help him open a restaurant. You know, like, he's like, I need to, like, rehabilitate Jimmy. I think his confidence is at an all-time low.
Isn't it, like, the night that he gets him out of jail? It's like, let's start a business.
Yeah. His forgiveness is also bad sometimes. Like, eventually he'll take in Ryan's brother, despite protestations from Ryan and Kirsten. Ryan's brother, Trey, ends up sexually assaulting Marissa. So, like, he can take...
Doesn't he only attempt to?
Or he sexually assaults her and attempts to rape her.
Not a good guy, Trey.
No, his test scores were not nearly good enough.
He did not have the potential.
And so, yeah, Peter Gallagher, you know, a guy who played mostly cads in his career. Like, you see Mr. Deeds, he's the bad guy in that. And so it's just really great. He's such a great, like, warm, friendly figure. He plays it so well. He's like the anti-Tom Cruise. A guy who usually played bad guys playing a good guy really well.
He's like the anti-my dad.
All right, let's move on to Ryan. He's the guy from Chino, the wife beater wearer in chief in the pool house. What's there to say about this guy? This section's going to be a lot shorter. He's brooding. He's not a big talker. You know, he likes to punch. And so usually in the soy banter kitchen scenes, which we'll talk more about later, he plays the straight man to Seth's neuroses. Imagine like he's the Jerry to Seth's George.
Yeah, and it's a shame because Ben McKenzie has pretty decent comedic timing. I wish they would have given him a little bit more to do. But yeah, he's smoldering, he broods, he's coming from a place of trauma, he has a really hard time trusting people because everyone in his life has walked out on him.
Like pretty much, he's like a paint by numbers, wrong side of the tracks character. It's well-trodden territory, I feel.
Yeah. They actually wanted to cast Chris Pine in this role originally, but his acne was too bad, they said. So they...
What a fucking idiot.
I know. Imagine like making a show about high schoolers and being like, oh yeah, he doesn't fit on the show. His acne is too bad. Like it is amazing that you can literally be Chris Pine and be disqualified from playing a high schooler because you have acne. Like,
folks, think about this.
We live in a society.
We live in an acne-hating society.
Okay, let's move on to next up. We got Ryan's love interest, Marissa Cooper.
She's the girl at the end of the driveway that we mentioned him meeting. And I think the number one thing to say about Marissa Cooper is that she is tragic figure. You know, this girl is just a walking tragedy waiting to happen.
You know how in those racist Tintin comics, there's the uncontacted tribe that wants to sacrifice the most beautiful virgin to the volcano?
Sure.
It's Misha Barton.
That is Marissa Cooper, right? That's what she is for the OC. This teenage girl is so beautiful and perfect and kind and cool and virginal that she is marked for death, Final Destination style.
She's the lamb waiting for slaughter.
Yeah, they actually said that when they were casting Marissa Cooper, that they were like, we want to find someone so beautiful that she's never been able to have a normal relationship with anyone because her beauty affects her relationship with everyone. Because you kind of look at her and you're like, oh my God, like, I can't even speak to this person in a normal way.
It's like you've opened the Ark of the Covenant. That's my best Seth impersonation.
That was a good Seth reference.
Yeah, and then her other character feature is that I think she is also someone who is like a bleeding heart for troubled people, right?
Mm-hmm.
People like Ryan, people like Oliver, the main villain from season 1. There's this great scene where Oliver pulls a gun on her and she yells to Ryan outside the door, "Ryan, he's got a gun." And Oliver flips out on her. He was like, "Why did you do that?" And Marissa apologizes to him. She's like, "I'm sorry." It's like, this guy is holding a gun on you.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody in her life is doing horrible things to her. And she tends to internalize all of this trauma as just being a tragic figure.
Oliver is such a sick character.
I love that
Oliver
character.
is
He's so great.
sick.
He caught so much backlash. Like, the showrunners were saying, like, yeah, we were really sorry we made Oliver. Everybody was pissed about him. And I'm like, no, that's a villain. The villain is supposed to be hated, right?
Does he gets arrested for like trying to buy coke on the street, and then he like threatens to kill himself? It's so sick, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the course of the first season, we see Marissa's father get arrested for fraud. We see her parents' marriage, and we see her ostracized from the community. Her boyfriend cheats on her. Her mom then fucks her ex-boyfriend. That's just in the first season.
Yeah, her mom does pedophilia.
I probably missed something, but this is a character who is just acted upon by the universe. Just bad things keep happening to her.
And meanwhile, she's like drinking to excess and taking prescription pills and just constantly on the verge of death.
Yeah. At one point, her mom gets mad at her for dating a Mexican guy. And you're just like, your mom slept with your ex-boyfriend.
Who's like underage. Like, you're not allowed to do that.
She's played by someone very young, Misha Barton, who at the time was, I think, 16 years old, like when they first cast her.
Yeah, like the only teenager playing a teenager among all of them.
Right. Yeah, and she's working very hard. You got to remember, like, someone this young who's putting in like a lot of hours on set. They almost cast Olivia Wilde, actually. They were really trying to get Olivia Wilde on TV in this decade.
I mean, she comes in, what, season 2?
Yeah, she dates Marissa.
Yeah.
The studio execs wanted Olivia Wilde, but the creator said, no, you don't understand Marissa. Like, Olivia is coming from a place of strength, which is not Marissa. Like, Marissa is like vulnerable and doe-eyed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about Marissa's mother, who I up top said that is probably my second favorite character on the show, Julie Cooper.
Mamma mia.
Whoa. Well, yeah, how many oof marons on the oof maron scale is she?
10 oofs.
Yeah, she is just so like sultry and seductive. She's got like a look. She's so hot.
She's one of one, dude.
She, like Ryan, is from the wrong side of the tracks, but does not believe in extending this kind of grace to other people. She has pulled up the ladder behind her.
Mm-hmm.
She is extremely judgmental, shallow, materialistic, conniving, backstabbing, always jockeying for position in the social hierarchy of Newport, right?
We see her have sex with the entire age spectrum. She has her age-appropriate husband, Jimmy Cooper, who we'll talk about in a moment. She has sex with the much, much older Caleb Nichols, Seth's grandfather, mostly for his money as a real estate mogul. And then we also see her have sex with the underage child, Luke, Marissa's ex-boyfriend.
Mrs. Cooper, you are an amazing girl. Woman. Lady. And if Mr. Nickel doesn't appreciate you...
No, he sure doesn't.
That's because he's too old to see what he's lucky enough to have. And you should also know that you have always been the coolest mom.
Luke.
No, it's true. You always let us listen to whatever we wanted to in the carpool. And you let us watch R-rated movies. And whenever we played Ultimatum...
Ultimatum?
You know, who of all your friends' moms would you rather do?
That's a game.
And whenever we played it, you always won.
Really? I beat Kirsten?
And I just thought you should know the truth on Valentine's Day. Good night.
Wait. Would you like to come in?
Maybe self-destructive behavior is actually passed down through the genes from Julia to Marissa.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Summer, who's Marissa's best friend and Seth Cohen's love interest, right? So Summer Roberts, originally only supposed to be a guest star, but she was quickly promoted to the main cast because Rachel Bilson was doing so much with the meagerest of lines. She has 3 lines in the pilot, one of which is, "I need to pee," and the other one is, "Ew, and turns them into laugh lines. Just a phenomenal actress.
You're right. She's the star.
Later on, we find out that she's smarter than she lets on. They have to change her character quite a bit to make her part of the main cast. Again, like something that's actually super common in the OC. In the first episode, she's like a Paris Hilton. She's a bimbo, right?
Yeah, she's a Valley girl, airhead, mean girl, right?
But like we said, the show wants to have its cake and eat it too. It's like, okay, but we want her to be a main character. This is what happens with like, a lot of our hateable characters, including Julie Cooper, right? They like immediately veer into redeeming them by making them good. There's no one on the show who's bad who like doesn't really get redeemed that often. A few exceptions, but
yeah, Summer learns all of Judaism in one night in the Passover episode so that she can out-Jew Seth Cohen at the Passover Seder.
And then she dresses up like Wonder Woman to like get his dick hard.
And yeah, they humanize her by pointing out that she's also racked with insecurities. Like she hides the fact that she is also a virgin from Seth before they have sex. She doesn't want to go public with their relationship, not because she's embarrassed by Seth, but because she knows that if it's public, everyone will know and it'll make when he leaves all the more heartbreaking and devastating. It's very sweet.
She kind of just ends up taking on Seth's personality, I think, a lot too. She gets into comic books. She does the girlfriend thing of like just getting into all the things her boyfriend.
Oh, you have interests? They're mine now.
Yeah, exactly.
They get a lot of laughs at the fact that she's mean, but in a fun way. So when Marissa's getting bullied, she just says, "Hey, whores, why don't you work another corner?" That was a big laugh line for me.
Skanks.
Yeah.
Remember when the boys made us watch that movie about the gay guys on the mountain? Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
It's a great summer line. Okay, let's talk next about Kirsten Cohen, right? One of the weaker characters on the show, played by Canadian actress Kelly Rowan. 2 TV episodes in a row now where there's a Canadian actress from the West Coast who's like not very funny and into naturalistic homeopathy and stuff like that. But I would say Kirsten Cohen is like very Presbyterian, you know, stoic, laconic, cold. She is like the anti-Jewish force in the Cohen household, right? She's the Christmas of Chrismica. She's not that well characterized. Some of her most defining character features are that like she's not a good cook, which is like not a character trait.
Because she works too hard. She's a workaholic.
Right. Yeah, she's a boss babe.
We weren't talking this way yet, but she is a boss-ass business bitch.
Well, she's a girl boss, yeah. I would say that she's somehow like still resentful of the Newport mom life, right? She hates all the Noopsies. Like all of her closest friends are Noopsies, which are like the Newport women, the Real Housewives, right? But she feels like disdain for them because she's the primary breadwinner in the family, unlike most of the other families, right? It is revealed that she used to have the political sensibilities for an extremely brief period in college. They met at Berkeley, her and Sandy Cohen. And so she talks about that she used to smell like patchouli oil, which is always a mark of a boomer in the writer's room. Like, I never know what to make of that. I just know that it's a signifier for hippiness.
Yeah, it means something to a certain section of people. Certainly not me. Like, I know what patchouli smells like, but I don't get the connotation of that.
Yeah.
Is it bad? It's bad.
I think it's just, all I know is that it means hippie.
Yeah.
Yeah. She once wanted to open an art gallery in Sausalito. It's said in a throwaway line. So they try and give you a snapshot of like, how did this woman end up with Sandy Cohen? And again, she is the ultimate trying to have your cake and eat it too, where she is resentful of this life that she is the archetype for, but she gets to salve her own conscience by the fact that she married Sandy Cohen. She is stealing valor from the good lib. And he accuses her of that at one point. It's like, you can pretend to be better than them by the fact that you're married to me and I'm a public defender. She's trying to launder her conscience in a lot of ways.
She becomes an alcoholic in the second season and has to go to rehab because she really wants to do adultery but can't bring herself to it. And this causes her to become like a fall down drunk.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a way to live.
Can you imagine? Okay, so next up, Jimmy Cooper. This is Marissa's father, the white-collar criminal that we've mentioned, the person that Matt Christman called Old Gil. He has stolen from the entire community, right? He still pines over Kirsten, his high school girlfriend, right? This is somebody who is living in the past. He's obsessed with the past. And I think one of the funny ways they characterize him is they have him watch ESPN classics, like he's watching old basketball games. Can you imagine, Dan?
Extremely relatable. Am I the Jimmy Cooper?
The number of L's he posts in this first season, right? His white collar fraud costs him his marriage because his shallow wife will not leave the life she's accustomed to. He tries to kiss his married high school sweetheart. He can't find another job. He almost loses his kids. He takes up with the troubled sister of his high school sweetheart.
Yeah, who's also a stripper.
Like,
and he gets beat up by Luke's dad because he lost all of his money. Like, he just gets absolutely fucked in the first season.
The real cherry on top for what a loser he is. There's a scene where Summer and Marissa are at his bachelor pad that he's at, and this man tries to cook them French toast and can't. He puts it in the oven. That is how useless he is. He can't
a fucking idiot.
Provide the most basic nourishment possible. It's eggs and bread. You fucking loser.
He's played by I don't know what the actor's name is.
Tate Donovan.
Yeah, he's like the most punchable. Does he have red hair?
Something like that.
He's like he's just a perfect loser.
He's the voice of Hercules in the Hercules animated movie.
Wow.
Yeah, probably I think his biggest credit at that point. Apparently, somebody in the OC book or like on one of the podcasts said that Tate Donovan was like, they call him the Pete Davidson of the early 2000s. Apparently, he was a hot ticket. The person that would have been like drawing the most people into the show. Like the most well-known young actor.
And he just ends up he plays like Bad Luck Brian.
Bad Luck Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest I was laughing, I think, during this rewatch was midway through season 2, they have to write Jimmy off. And Jimmy says with like a completely straight face, he's leaving town. He's going to sail away on his sailboat to Maui. And Marissa is like, but I need a father. And Jimmy Cooper, as Marissa is crying, he's like, yeah, you're right. Like, you need a real dad. I need to learn how to be a real dad. So I'm leaving and moving to Maui.
I'm never coming back. I have to go do the work.
Oh, I was dying. The idea of someone being like, I need to learn how to be a real dad. So I'm moving to Maui and never coming back.
I'm going to go on my fucking sailboat. Good luck, though.
Oh, he's such a loser.
He fucking rocks,
He's
dude.
so sick. I love Jimmy Cooper.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I'm sorry, Marissa. I
fucked it up again,
bungled
didn't I?
up all. I lost $10 million this morning. Oh,
Why
God.
does anyone trust me? Fuck.
Kirsten, I need to borrow money. Oh, I lost it already.
All right, so there are your characters for the OC. We're going to do a few deep dives into some choice episodes. Starting with season 1, episode 11,
The Homecoming.
It's a Thanksgiving episode. And, we said in this pod, we love a good holiday episode because the setting, the themes, the atmosphere, the vibe, it's immediately recognizable to the viewer. Like we said on our West Wing episode, the fact that it's a holiday episode does a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
Right. In terms of giving you themes for like the A plot, B plot, C plot, or just making the episode standalone, I just find that like a holiday episode is a good structure that you can start from.
The OC loves holiday episodes too. They do so many.
They made up a holiday so they could do additional holiday. But yeah, there's always like a Valentine's Day episode. There's always a Christmas episode. There's a fucking Passover episode in season 1.
New Year's Eve episode is my favorite one.
Oh, always a New Year's Eve episode. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
There's a line that I quote from the New Year's episode, like still to this day.
What is that?
I think Summer says it, but it's whoever you spend New Year's Eve with is who you spend the rest of the year with, which is like, first of all, doesn't make sense. That's not, how could that be true? But since I saw it as like a teenager, I was like, that's so fucking true, dude. And I still like repeat it in my head. New Year's Eve is my favorite holiday. So like, I get real amped up and the OC line just plays in my head. I'm like, gotta make this night special.
You're taking advice from Summer Roberts.
So this episode is great at showcasing the show's comedy chops, right? So we said the show is extremely melodramatic, it's borderline soap opera-y, but it is also extremely funny. And this is a good episode to exemplify that. Like there's a lot of low-hanging fruit jokes at Kirsten's expense about how terrible a cook she is. The 3 boys in the house are frantically trying to claim cooking tasks just to keep this wasp woman out of the kitchen. The boys and I made a solemn pact while you were in the bathroom. Seth says, Mom, come on, you're uncomfortably close to the corn right now. They're really trying to get her out of there, which, cheap laughs, good stuff.
I love their little poolside grill, the built-in grill setup. It's like something that can only like exist in California where it's like warm and nice enough to not have your nice grill fucked up by the weather. That's like the ideal situation.
I mean, the house is so sick. The pool house is like bigger than the house I grew up in.
Yup.
Where'd you grow up, Chino?
Yes.
The A plot of this episode is the teen melodrama one. Ryan has to visit his brother in prison, so he's not alone on the holiday. Marissa tags along, and then when he's in Chino, he gets a GTA side quest. He needs to drive a stolen car to a chop shop to keep some guys off his brother's back in prison. This is where we're introduced to Teresa, a Ryan ex who's going to be a recurring guest in the show. She was the girl next door when Ryan lived in Chino because Ryan has a type. It's the girl next door.
I think he's just like too dumb to realize that there's women that exist that don't live next to you.
A fun little class conflict line where Marissa and Ryan are in Teresa's house, and Teresa says, Mom, don't ask Marissa to cook. I'm sure she's got maids for that, you know?
Get her ass.
The GTA side quest goes sideways, but luckily Marissa's there to save Ryan as he's about to get roughed up. She pulls up in the fucking Range Rover. He hops in. They drive back to the Cohen's house, and hooray, Ryan says when he walks in, it's good to be home. Don't you see? The OC is his home now. It's not Chino where he used to be. So that's like the serious teen melodrama plotline of the episode. We get a little bit more fun in the B plot because after a decade and a half of having no women, Seth now has 2 women who are into him. Summer Roberts and Anna.
It's a classic Betty and Veronica situation. Like Clone High with Cleo and Joan of Arc, or undergrads. Like the cool girl that's your friend with short hair versus the incredibly beautiful girl with long hair. The classic high school boy, which way, high school boy.
Which way, Western high school boy, man.
And much like an Archie comic, he runs an Archie plotline where he's going to stash one girl in the pool house and one girl in his room. And he's going to ping pong back and forth using increasingly elaborate lies and excuses as to why they cannot leave where he has stashed them and to keep them from finding the other one.
One of my favorite tropes to do. I love a nervous guy going back and forth between 2 girls and making stuff up. It's so good. It's never bad.
Making stuff up is like naturally like Adam Brody. That's a great way for him to do his like Vince Vaughn rapid fire. Like, I gotta go. I got the green bean.
And eventually, after some great comedy, this all blows up. At a certain point, he's trying to blow it up on purpose. He's making out with Anna in his bed. He takes this plastic toy horse he has next to it and says, have you met Captain Oates?
Yeah, talk to my plastic horse for 20 minutes until I'm back.
And when it all blows up, Kirsten gets to say, I always knew you were a late bloomer, Seth.
Yeah, both girls discover each other in front of the entire family, and they're so upset that they both leave. His grandfather and his parents are impressed. They're like, nice, dude.
They're like, nice, dude, you're getting pussy. You're the best.
Sandy Bus. He's like,
my beautiful boy, he's getting pussy.
The C plot is that the Cohens are trying to set up the absolute loser, Jimmy Cooper, with Sandy Cohen's work wife, this other lawyer lady named Rachel. And they're comically bad at matchmaking, They're trying to gas Jimmy Cooper up. They're saying, I'm a big fan of the tuck-in, and your hair looks good. And, they know how bad it is.
Yeah, the first thing Rachel says is, Jimmy Cooper, the guy that stole from everybody in the community.
Jimmy Cooper, known moron.
Known thief. Known felon.
Yeah. So they're also doing their elaborate lies, trying to get out of the way. But eventually, Jimmy and Rachel bond over their love of the NFL, their love of sports. She also loves the ESPN classics. They both say it at the same time. But this is almost ruined by the smallest little D plot, which is that Thanksgiving is nearly ruined when Grandpa Caleb Nichols crashes it with Julie Cooper, whom he is with now, and brings all of his awful toxicity to the celebration, gets in the way of their matchmaking. It's good stuff. There's hijinks, there's lies, there's doubling down. It all comes crashing down. Kirsten drinks herself stupid. Some great comedic timing where she's blending margaritas and the blender ends at the worst possible time as Seth is shouting Marissa's and Chino, something that was supposed to be kept private, yada, yada, yada. It's great stuff all around.
It's really great writing. It's such a dense episode. There's so many things happening.
Every episode in this first season, I would come away with that being for a show that was putting out 27 episodes a season, I was constantly marveling at how quickly they moved through plot points because we have 8 to 10 episode seasons now, and they so often just feel so boring. Where you're watching a shot that just goes on and on and on. And I was just amazed. I'm like, I can't believe they had 25 episodes where they're moving this quickly.
We just keep saying this. They don't make them like they used to. I mean, they were just ripping through plot lines in this show.
Yeah.
There's no table setting.
And if something didn't work, they just gave up on it, which is an admirable thing for a writer's room. If something's not working, just fucking pretend like it never happened.
The other defining feature of TV from this era is that it's on every year for 27 straight weeks. And so you don't have 3 years to put together a story. Now a TV show will come back, once every 2-3 years, something like that?
Yeah.
And at this time, it's no, we're back in 20 weeks and we're going to be adjusting the story as we go, right? And so, yeah, you're right. Sometimes they'll have a guest star on, they'll start up something and be like, all right, we got to kill this.
Yeah, or just this didn't go as I planned. Let's just move on to the next 5 things.
Yeah, even like that Sandy's work wife Rachel plotline is like a big plot point for several episodes in season 1 where Kirsten's jealous and Caleb's trying to use this character as a wedge in his daughter's marriage. She is not written off the show. She's just never brought up again at some point.
Yeah, because it's like they're like flirting, like Sandy might cheat on Kirsten with him. Yeah, and then it's just like, well, we'll just move on from that.
Yeah.
I think the common thing that ties the A, B, and C plots together in this Thanksgiving episode is that each guy in each of these plots is trying to juggle a comfortable relationship from their past life with a relationship from a new idealized life, right? So you have Ryan, who's juggling Teresa and Marissa. You have Seth, who's juggling Anna and Summer. You have Jimmy Cooper, who is in a situation where like he's hitting on this new woman, Rachel, and also has Julie Cooper there, right? So they kind of do have this pattern that they're all repeating throughout the 3 plots of the episode, which I always appreciate.
Yeah.
I love a common thread.
I do love a common thread. I think I love a common thread. I'm a thread guy. I'm just doing Seinfeld at a certain point.
This is like your 8th Seinfeld reference.
Okay, the next 2 episodes we're going to blitz through. The first one is called The LA. The second one is called The Blaze of Glory. They're from seasons 1 and 2. And they really speak to the show's postmodernism. I remember reading that in high school and I was like, what the hell does that mean? But now that I've done this pod, I feel like it just means they're doing meta commentary, basically. They're commenting on the fact that they are on a TV show, right? That like, it was here if you like that kind of stuff. And so in this episode of the show, there's the show called The Valley, which is
a show within a show.
Yeah, it's a show within a show that is very much like the OC that these characters watch. And they'll use that to comment on the show The OC by talking about this show within a show.
Yes.
It's actually awesome. It's great, dude. It's like higher level than something you'd expect on Fox.
Right. It's so much more than you expect from a teen drama, right? Like if I was watching 90210 or One Tree Hill, which I've never seen, but I'm going to assume that they don't have anything like this.
Yeah.
I think that's a safe bet.
The instigating event is that Summer and Marissa run into one of the teen idols from this show's fake show, The Hills, on the beach, and they get invited to a party in LA. And immediately they're making the winking, self-referential comments, right? So they say of the star, I hear he improvises all of his scenes, which is obviously a nod to Adam Brody.
Yeah. Brody has said, by the way, he's like, that's really overblown. He's like, yeah, I improvise my lines, but I'm not a groundling or an upright citizen. I improvise lines that were like, oh, wow, cocaine, cool. Playing the scene honestly, but not necessarily doing high level improv. I think he was just saying that in this environment, he was the funniest guy in this room.
Isn't the star of The Valley Tom Hanks' son?
It is. Yeah, it's Colin Hanks.
Colin Hanks, yeah. I was going to say Chet, but I was like, no, it's not Chet
That would
Hanks.
be awesome.
Hey, man, we on the show.
Welcome to the OC, bitch. Biatch, boyakasha. Welcome to the OC. Colin Hanks, also the star of the movie Orange County.
True.
Yep. It's all coming together, folks.
So they go to this party that's hosted as a strip club where there's a whole bunch of lines about fame, teen drama, art, success. Summer says, thank God I had my camera phone. They're the autograph of the 21st century.
So fucking true.
Yeah, honestly, like one of the best bullseyes of the show, for sure.
Yeah.
Imagine asking a famous person for their autograph now. Like
I do it every day.
Seth is freaking out because the character that Summer has such a big crush on is, quote, TV Seth. You know, he says he ad-libs all his lines. That's what I do. You know, the show's having a little fun where the two boys, Ryan and Seth, they look at the actor and they go, how does he play high school? And it's like, that's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah.
It's like, you're in your 30s.
Ben McKenzie is 25 years old playing a 15-year-old, right? Like
So sick.
He's so muscular. He's got facial hair. He's like regularly beating adults in fights. Actually, the age difference between Ben McKenzie and Melinda Clarke, who plays Julie Cooper, is 9 years, which is about the same number of years of the age difference between him and Misha Barton, who plays Marissa Cooper.
Right.
But yeah, we get to meet Colin Hanks's entourage, right? His turtle.
Yeah, I don't know if I got the timeline right. Was Entourage out yet at this point?
Entourage starts 2004, so this is pre-Entourage.
Oh, wow.
They beat them to the punch.
Yeah, we see the Entourage, and it does look like the cast of Entourage. Publicist, agent, yada, yada, yada. Douchebags, yeah.
Hangers on.
There's a really fun Paris Hilton cameo.
The joke with Paris Hilton is that she's actually, like, really smart. She's doing an act. She brings up the fucking one battle after another author in this scene, which is crazy.
Yup.
Yeah, and Seth is like, oh.
She says that she's writing her thesis on magical realism in American literature, particularly Thomas Pynchon.
Yeah. And she closes this interaction by saying, don't tell anyone I'm a graduate student, because she knows it is less shameful to have a sex tape than to be a graduate student.
Truly, there's nothing more embarrassing than being in graduate school.
Yeah. Shout out to my grad school people. It gets better. Just get out of there.
It gets so much worse.
After they get thrown out of the club, Marissa has this brilliant idea because there's a VIP line. So she's going to pretend that Ryan is a teen actor. She's going to gush over him like a teenage fangirl to get past the bouncer who doesn't watch that teen shit. And the line that this bouncer says, seeing a teenage girl go with this guy, the guard says to him, take advantage, kid. You're only a teen idol once.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And then, in like the non-meta commentary parts of this episode, which we'll go through very quickly, Sandy and Cohen and Jimmy Cooper have decided to open a restaurant together. And so they're trying to raise money from Caleb's rich friends, basically.
Yeah, so Kirsten's dad, they're trying to like bum money off him. And they don't they like make like meatloaf or something?
Yeah, their idea is they're going to serve 2 meatloafs at this fancy restaurant.
2 different kinds.
It's like the most cocaine idea I've ever heard in my life.
And the dad comes in, he's like, I'm not serving fucking meatloaf. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
And Sandy's like, well, if we're going to do it, we got to do it my way. Such a stupid scene. Like, what?
And it works. All the rich people are like, oh, wow, this is such comfort food.
Oh, this is such blue collar tasting food.
My favorite plot, I think, in this episode, though, is that we come to learn that Kirsten's much younger sister, Haley, is working as a stripper at the club that the Valley Stars are at, right? And the way that they talk about Haley being a stripper is so, hey, it's the 2000s, right? Where, like, Ryan is like, I have to save you.
Mm-hmm.
And they all, like, get there and they're, like, basically treating her like she's selling drugs or something. But the idea that she's a stripper is, like, clearly this isn't what she wants. We need to save her from.
Yeah, they're treating her like she's the victim of human trafficking is what it's like.
Yeah. It's just like such a strange sensibility that they're treating her in this episode.
At this no nudity strip club, yes.
Yeah, it's like a normal bar that just has like suggestive dancers.
Mm-hmm. Seth even says like, you look like shit or something to her. He doesn't say shit because it's network TV, but it's like, you look like trash or you look terrible. We got to get you out of here.
Right. Okay, the other big postmodern episode from season 2 that I want to talk about is The Blaze of Glory. I'll quickly go through the A, B, and C plot here. So the A plot is Seth thinks things last year were better. They were more fun. Now the things happening to them are too ridiculous, right? And then he like starts describing the season 2 plot lines. And so it's like this explicit critique of the things that have been happening on the show and saying season 1 was better. I want to get season 1 back. And so he says, now that Summer and I are back together, I think Marissa and Ryan should be back together so we can be like season 1. And he meddles to get them back together.
He's wearing an outfit from season 1. He's like, I'm just going to dress like I used to.
Exactly. Because all of the actors at this point were on the record saying it was more fun to be here last year. This doesn't feel new anymore. The ratings every season went down as well. So they're explicitly saying like, we want to get some of the magic of season 1 back. How do we do that? By dressing the same, by getting the same plots together, right? Like Ryan and Marissa. So Seth gets Ryan to make a Trojan horse for Marissa's bonfire, which is like a Trojan horse for them having a romantic relationship. And at this point, Marissa is dating Alex, played by Olivia Wilde. They're in a bisexual, or I guess that's just like a lesbian.
That would be a lesbian relationship.
Marissa is a bisexual at this point. And so he meddles with their relationship by telling Alex that Marissa and Ryan slept in a tent together. They had sort of a bottle episode where they were stuck in a mall overnight.
They're living together, right? Marissa and Alex?
They are.
Yeah.
The B plot is that Julie Cooper's former pornographer, Lance, blackmails her with her porno tape called The Porn Identity. Julie defends this by saying, it was the 80s. And even as a 15-year-old, I was like, wait a second.
The Porn Identity came out in the 2000s.
You were doing a Robert Ludlum porn parody of what at that time is only a book.
Yep.
Like,
to be clear, I would do anything to have that video. I would pay $1 million to have that video.
Go find Lance, dude.
I will.
They never quite figured out the timeline either, because Julie in season 1 is supposed to be 34, 35 years old, which even in 1989 would make her 9 years old. So
it's a different kind of video than you think. I'm just kidding. I don't want that video.
Yeah, take it back. It's an 80s porno parody of a movie from 2001 starring a 9-year-old Julie Cooper. But Sandy Cohen bails her out, with his lawyering, his knowledge of intellectual property law. And then the C plot is that Kirsten's magazine editor has become a drunken mess after having to live in Newport for 2 weeks because he used to be like a leftist publisher. He had a magazine called Revolution Magazine.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
They didn't try very hard on that one. It's a little on the nose. That Sandy remembers every word of, he was a big collector of Revolution magazine in his Berkeley days, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kirsten's able to inspire him using one of these magazines that Sandy has held on to. And so I liked this episode because of, again, it's sort of like meta commentary, but also just that, A, B, and C plot, they're all about like your past coming back to haunt you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be Julie Cooper with her porno, this magazine editor who sees what he used to be and is destroyed by it, by what he's become. And then by the show itself being haunted by its past because it knows that it used to be better, right? Okay, that's all we really have for our episode recaps. I want to mention one more that I don't think you guys have seen, so I'll go through very quickly. But the 4th season, Marissa has died by this point, and so they're flailing around. They're doing more stupid stuff. I don't think they care anymore. They already know that they're canceled. They have a shorter season, and so they're just doing like dumb, more out there ideas. One of which is like an alternate universe episode called The Christmas Huh? It's like a Wonderful Life episode where Ryan sees what Newport is like if he had never came. And I think it's one of my favorite episodes of the show because it actually gets to treat all of these characters, Sandy, Julie, Kirsten, Seth. It actually is mean to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of those characters are stupid and selfish and greedy because they can do that with this different universe, right? And the show, I think, is like actually much more effective at making fun of people from Orange County when we're supposed to not like these people.
Mm-hmm. And remind me, Jordana, what is the device that we use to get into this alternate universe?
Oh, Ryan hits his head. He's hanging Christmas lights.
Right. He gets bonked on the noggin.
Yeah.
He gets a TBI and has schizophrenic flashbacks.
With his girlfriend. They both fall off of the roof, I think, right? And then they both go to the same parallel universe together in their coma. He's in a coma. They're both in a coma and they go to the same universe. It's incredibly fucking stupid. But this is what I mean when I talk about the show in its 4th season.
Mm-hmm.
Season 4 is god awful. Let's just put that out there.
Cards on the table. I didn't rewatch season 4 for this. I kind of want to watch it before determining if that's the case. I watched 2 episodes and they seemed worse, but one of them is my favorite, one of my favorites. Seth is a fail son in this universe. We get to laugh at how fucking useless he is.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy is the mayor and he's like cruel and conniving. He's married to Julie, right? Julie is back to being like season 1 Julie, where she's saying stuff like, "Oh, Julie, you're such a philanthropist." And she says, "Yes, and I help people." And Chris Pratt is also like phenomenal in this episode. He's so funny. He's like a guy who's obsessed with thongs and putting thongs in his mouth. Very funny.
What's the status of Marissa in this alternate universe?
Marissa is still dead. I love this detail because it implies that she's such a tragic figure that it didn't matter if Ryan came to Newport or not. She was gonna die.
She was marked for death.
Exactly, yeah. She was not long for this world. There is no escaping death for Marissa Cooper. I think she instead dies after drinking too much in Tijuana.
What a way to go.
All right, anyway, I just wanted to talk about that one because I love that episode so much. But let's move on to our themes.
Oh boy, do we have a lot for you today. This is such a rich text.
So let's talk about our favorite theme on this show. Why don't you say we talk about class politics first?
Oh yes. This is a show about what happens when the rich and the not so rich meet. And it has, the portrayal of both. So let's start with how we portray the upper classes. And stealing a take from a good friend of mine here, every American text about rich people is in some way, shape, or form The Great Gatsby. It's all downstream from Gatsby.
Little egg, ew.
In the same way that Gatsby went and got rich through nefarious means of drug running and whatever, and he comes back and he joins this rich world, and everyone is shallow and hollow and materialistic and unhappy, including himself. That is how they portray the rich people of Orange County. They want you to know that on top of being awful, none of them are happy either, right? They're all stuck in the past. Jimmy Coop, he loves watching the old ESPN games. Kirsten asks Ryan what he wants to be because he's never thinking about the future. He says, "I want to be 17." And she responds, "Me too." Jimmy Coop is the most obsessed with the past because he's still in love with his high school prom date. He even tries to kiss this married woman as she helps him set up his bachelor pad.
I love that she thinks she's going to follow through with that. It's like she's helping him set up Kirk Van Houten's post-divorce race car bed. And He's like, do you think I think she wants to
think
kiss
she wants to fuck me right now.
I think she wants to fuck me.
I think I'm going to make my move finally.
We can fuck in my race car bed.
It doesn't work out for it.
On top of all of them being unhappy, their lives are all hollow. They all live in the same shitty McMansions that Kirsten's family builds. All they care about is appearances. This was like, I texted Jordana when I was watching the first episode. I was like, Jordana, have you heard about this? Everyone in California is fake. They're not real. Even their main industry is making TV. That's fake stories.
Whoa.
I never thought about it like that.
You know where Disneyland is?
No, where?
Orange County.
Whoa.
Damn.
It's a make-believe world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this in our Arrested Development episode with guests Matt Chrisman and Chris Wade, no big deal. And we just talked about how, like, this place has the greatest weather on the planet, the most beautiful natural geography, and it is wasted on these people.
They truly paved paradise and put up a parking lot, man.
Yeah. Not only have they made it into the most car-dependent place on Earth, but they spend most of their time in these garish houses with their air conditioning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing fucking yoga Pilates classes.
Yep. And it's also culturally bankrupt, right? They're so focused on the most superficial appearances. Like Seth says, why do I have to go to a fashion show? Every day is a fashion show for these people, right? Like, they really hit this note really fucking hard. Early in the first season, we see that one of the major social events, every single fucking episode has some kind of formal attire social event that these people have to do because, like, they don't read, they don't create, they're so bored.
That's called community.
They just go to their fancy fantasy parties. And the people of Southern California and the OC are so culturally bankrupt that they LARP as antebellum Southerners with a cotillion ball, with debutantes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Your grandparents or your parents moved here from the fucking Midwest. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
And I think the show is like most self-aware of how it's trying to make fun of this lifestyle when it talks about the Noopsies. The Noopsies is like a name that Sandy gives for like essentially like the types of women who would go on to be like, you know, Real Housewives or whatever, right? They are the rich Karen women who are shallow, into loud luxury, with a lot of money and very little to do. And so I thought for sure that yoga Pilates was something that this show invented. It is a real practice that like they took this South Asian spiritual practice and found a way to like alter it to make it more like Pilates, I guess. Talk about just like robbing it of any kind of spiritual associations it might have had. But when they talk about the Noopsies, those women say stuff out loud like, well, time to go home and fire my housekeeper, you know, like...
Yeah, they're constantly gossiping and backstabbing each other. Whoever's not in the room is the one who's going to get roasted. Again, they are shallow. They are materialistic. They are vapid. Small minds talk about people. That's the Noopsies.
And the way that they treat like anyone from Inland Empire or people from Chino is always very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I don't know if you notice this, but anytime they drive from Newport to Chino, it starts as daytime and ends in like dusk. Just to like further emphasize it's really far away.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's every time, but I noticed it a couple of times. When they go to Chino, it's like gray and dark, and like it just has this lens that is different than the bright coastal right on the water Newport.
Right.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's an under an hour drive from Newport Beach to Chino. And yeah, we've already said this a bunch of times today, but like this show is trying to have its cake and eat it too, where the side characters are all these vapid, fake, awful people. And that's where it tries to have its most biting satire. But our characters, they are meant to be outsiders, generally.
I think the problem with the show is that they quickly become insiders, right? How many episodes into the show before Seth just is the son of the biggest developer family in town dating the most popular girl? How long can he continue to be an outsider when those are his circumstances? And in season 2, actually, Seth is seemingly so popular that he runs the comic book club and he gets all of these nerds to do his bidding, like spying on Summer and stuff like that. And so it's like he finds new Seth Cohens to kind of bully in a way.
Yeah, Sandy goes into private practice, becomes a restaurant owner, you know, like, but they're still trying to say that these people are good, you know. Seth's an outsider because he's an emo geek music nerd.
He has good taste, unlike these rich people who have bad taste.
Yeah, Sandy's a good person, so he's an outsider. Marissa's an outsider because she's just too beautiful and whatnot.
They have to turn the villains into outsiders in order to make them likable. Luke becomes one of our good friends.
Yeah, Luke becomes like a core bro.
Yeah.
After beating up Ryan in the first episode.
Because his dad is gay, right? Like after his dad is revealed to be gay, Luke becomes an outsider by virtue of the fact that he, you know, has a queer father. And same thing with Julie Cooper because she loses all of her money. So they kind of have to do this transformation to these people.
Yeah. But our talk about class conflict would not be complete without a discussion of the working class. One of our protagonists, Ryan, he's an Inland Empire kid. He's from the working class. And generally, this show that is meant to be anti-rich people is pretty fucking savage to the poor people that it portrays.
It's so funny how they portray working class people on this show. Everybody from Chino is either like a drunk or like gets knocked up at 17. At one point, Teresa is talking to Ryan and she's like, I'm getting married to Eddie. Teresa, remember, is like the girl next door in Chino.
Eddie's the guy with the really sharp face.
Yes, he has it.
Yeah, everyone's fucked up.
And Ryan's like, you're getting married at 17? Like, why? And Teresa's like, you've forgotten where you've come from.
That's what we do.
Yeah, Eddie's got his own place. He's a foreman. And I'm like, is this the sensibility of the working class? That it's in high school, they're like, I'm getting married.
Yeah, I knocked up my broad, who's like a housekeeper.
Eddie is also beating Teresa regularly. She has like a black eye. Ryan's like, you can't marry him. And yeah, like she's like, well, you've forgotten where you've come from. Like this is how we do it down in the working class.
There's a funny scene where she has a black eye and she's talking to Sandy. And she's like, oh, I know, like your boyfriend beats you, you should leave him, right? And Sandy's like, it's never that easy. Okay, dude.
It's never that simple.
Yeah, there are all these throwaway lines about the greatest sin that the poor people do in the minds of the rich people of this show is that they have too many children too soon. I think Julie Cooper has a throwaway line to Marissa where she's like, do you want to end up like your aunt? 4 kids living in a trailer park? Right. That's why they're so poor, is that they keep having children.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that this show's calling card is like class consciousness.
No.
But it's there. They're playing with it. I think it's just like it's something consistent that they go back to. There's a scene in season 2 where, like I said, Julie Cooper is really pissed at Marissa because she's dating a Latino gardener. And at this point, she's like begging her to get back with Ryan because she's like, listen, if you're going to date the working class guy, like, can he at least be the white one?
Yeah, at least make him freaking white.
And so when Marissa is dancing with the gardener, the yard guy, as they call him on this show, she runs to the middle of the dance floor to throw down with Marissa. Jimmy has to stop her and is like, hey, my parents didn't approve of you when we first started dating. And Julie...
you're a fucking loser.
Julie was so scandalized by that. She says, first off, am I the gardener in here? All the noopsies, when they see Marissa dancing with yard guy, they're all whispering, is she with the gardener? Big scandal. All right, let's talk a little bit about race in the OC. Another thing it's not very conscious about, I think we're going to be talking mostly about how fucking stupid I think they seem to be.
Folks, lots of white people in this show.
Yeah, Seth says of Newport High, the master race has been perfected and they all go to our school here.
I'm honestly so surprised that this show hasn't had like a revival amongst Roman statue profile picture Twitter guys, white nationalist return to tradition guys, because like this is like what they want, right? This is right up their alley.
Maybe it hasn't because the show is trying to critique these people. Like it's
Yeah.
not a celebration. It ends up being a kind of a celebration, obviously.
Yeah, but the thing about those guys is they miss any sort of context. Like it's always like, this is what they took from you, and it's like a 95% Democrat subsection of California in the 70s or something. It's like they miss all the subtext in it, but this has all the trappings of rich white people dressed up nice. Well, look, there's water. Look, there's no black people here.
Right. Well, I think the version of the OC that they would like would be one where they're insiders more explicitly.
Yeah.
Because this is about the outsiders. But yeah, you're right.
They want a show about just the noopsies and just Caleb Nichols, the business.
They have that show. That's like all that is on TV anymore. It's called The Real Housewives. It is funny that this show has one Latino character, Teresa, and she's played by an Indian woman.
Giordano, I need to correct you. There's also the Cohen's' maid.
One named character. There's also Yard Guy. He's a Hispanic actor. And all of the people in prison that Ryan's in, also
people of color.
That's good representation there.
Yeah, how has this show not blown up with Statue Abbey guys on Twitter?
Maybe we'll start this revolution.
You gotta watch the OC. Actually, when they were originally drafting up the show, it was about the Hispanic daughter of the gardener, who's the outsider to the Atwood family.
Mm-hmm.
So they were living in the guest house of the Atwood family. And then Ryan Atwood was the Marissa Cooper, basically. But the network already had 2 shows about Latino star-crossed lovers. A show called Skin, I never heard of.
Oh, I remember Skin.
Yeah?
I remember like the commercials for it. I never watched. It was like about lawyers or some shit.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that because in the book by Alan Sepinwall, he repeatedly references the commercials for the show where someone is yelling, "His father is the district attorney."
Yes. Oh my God, dude. You just unlocked something in my brain. It was Fox. I remember watching like fucking baseball playoffs. Yeah.
Oh, man, that is amazing that you remember that because that's something from the book is like during baseball commercials, Skin would constantly air his father.
His father is the district attorney. Holy shit.
A show that was canceled after 5 episodes.
God damn.
Yeah.
And I just want to throw this out because it made me laugh. There's an episode in season 1 where they go to Tijuana, and the portrayal of Mexico is extremely funny because in the establishing shots of the Bacanal, that is the streets of Tijuana, you literally hear a cucaracha car horn.
Hell
yeah. Okay, so a little subsection on race. We'll talk about Jewishness, right? Because this is the thing that others say.
I gotta go.
They are from a mixed family, right? This is a big part of the show's identity, that this is a half Jewish, half Christian family. The author of Welcome to the OC points out that in Seinfeld, it takes until like the 152nd episode for Jerry to explicitly say he's Jewish.
It's really hard to tell that he's Jewish in the first 150 episodes. They really buried that one. Mm-hmm. It was such a twist when he revealed it.
Oh my God. I love that George is Italian in the canon of Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm. I guess I never thought about that. Costanza is very...
He says it at one point. He's like trying to get a discount at like the pizza restaurant. And he's like, not a discount, but like special service. But yeah, so Sandy has left the New York area for a California shiksa, right? This like blonde Presbyterian. And he's sold out his Jewish identity to live amongst these Republicans. It's actually funny because Josh Schwartz, the showrunner, they asked him like, "Oh, are you trying to do like this generation's 90210?" And he's like, "I don't know. I never saw it. On Thursday nights, I was watching Seinfeld, like so I couldn't watch 90210." And I think that that's definitely apparent that he is a big Seinfeld fan because even the way that they title the episodes, the Vegas, the links, I think he's either paying homage or like imitating Seinfeld very often.
Yeah, and it doesn't always work. The Vegas, the LA, you can't just add a "the" to a city's name.
Right. The Shuffle. Mm-hmm. Even the OC is funny. They have that joke in Arrested Development, like don't call it that because nobody has ever called it the OC. It's just OC.
Yeah, the show makes a lot of hay about the Jewish identity. They have a Passover episode, and they also play it for jokes, right? Seth, when talking about Ryan, says, "We could have a real athlete on our hands. He could achieve everything your Jewishness prevented me from accomplishing," right? That kind of self-effacing, neurotic Jewish humor comes through a lot in the show.
And I think they comment on the fact that, like, goys are not very funny, right? He says, like, "I love your mother, but she's a goy. She's not funny," you know? Same thing with Ryan.
The Passover episode is great because we meet Nana Cohen, and this episode has heights of Jewish guilt unportrayed before on television. She's dying of cancer and she doesn't want to do chemotherapy, and she's guilting the family's guilting her, like, "You're just trying to run away from us, you don't want to extend your life with chemo." It's wild.
I want to talk about the politics of this show because Orange County is sort of like the conservative Austin in the sense that it's a conservative bastion in a deeply liberal state. This is a county that never voted for a Democratic president until Donald Trump in 2016. And then they voted for Hillary and Kamala and Biden since then. That's the county as a whole. So it's like, this is a county of like never Trump Republicans.
This is who the Lincoln Project was for. Was the characters on the OC.
These are like the 1% of the country who the Lincoln Project would actually work for.
Yeah, this was like when Kamala got Liz Cheney on board. Everyone in Orange County was like, "Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's for me."
Yes, exactly. That's exactly who this move is for. But specifically, like if you just look at Newport Beach alone, they have continued to vote Republican in every single election. And so this is the reddest part of California, but not in like the rural parts of California way, but like the very rich capitalist way.
And Northern California is filled with fucking militias, like rural Oregon, right? That northern part wants to fucking separate. So, but that's a different type of conservatism.
So my ex-girlfriend was from Orange County. She was from Aliso Viejo, and I would visit her. And I remember one time I went down to Newport Beach, which is beautiful. I was like waving at everyone on the street. It's gorgeous. And in the window at one of the art stores, they had a painting that someone had done that was like all of the Republican presidents in like a dogs playing poker painting.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
It was like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronald Reagan, George Bush, father and son, and they're like playing poker and like smoking stogies together.
Fucking beast mode.
I'm like,
dude.
that is hard.
I need that. And you didn't buy it?
I didn't. I should have bought it so I could put it in a prominent place on my wall here. There is a I hate Schwarzenegger drop from Sandy Cohen's mother when she visits.
Yeah, this like New York Jew from the Bronx social worker says, I hate the ocean, I hate the sunshine, I hate California, and I hate Schwarzenegger. Beautiful stuff.
Another little quick politics story from the book is that Ari Emanuel, just to remind you, is the brother of Rahm Emanuel, I believe Obama's chief of staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ari is the guy who Ari Gold was modeled after. At one point is trying to get Josh to write a spin-off show of the OC about Anna in Pittsburgh, and he is miming throwing briefcases full of money out of the window because Josh won't write a spin-off about Anna in Pittsburgh, right? So you can just imagine fucking Ari Emanuel doing this. Also, just imagine a version of the OC set in Pittsburgh. Like,
so like, why, if of any character do a spin-off, why Anna?
I know. Right? Like Samira Armstrong, I don't know that she really has the pull to keep that show going. I felt a little bit bad to her because in the story, they would go to McGee's house every week to watch the show. And she like puked off of his balcony. And she's like, oh, I felt really bad about it. And he never invited me back. And I was like, oh, I feel bad for her.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch an Oliver spinoff.
Yeah, hell yeah. He's the manic pixie dream boy. No, he's not really a dream boy, I guess.
He has like incel qualities.
He
like,
is,
he like
yeah.
invented a form of incelism.
He's great at like using mental health to like manipulate people. But yeah, talk about the OC set in Pittsburgh, I feel like betrays the basic premise of this show, which is like the glitz and the glamour. No one wants to see fucking yinzers do yoga lattes. Like, I don't know how that would even work.
They made the pit instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, also the Anna character was just there to be like a pixie cut, short-haired carbon copy of Seth. She was a plot point.
Yeah, she was a plot point to get Summer involved, but like she was just like a crutch to do that.
Yeah.
She was a very like one-dimensional character.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention the fact too that Samara Armstrong, I felt bad about her for a second, but she is also now like a very big Trump supporter. Apparently she's on Instagram a lot talking about how Trump is like the greatest president of all time. And
what were her thoughts on the BLM movement again?
I'm sure they were enlightening.
She just said that they were like gangsters or something.
That's a very like OC coded way to describe BLM.
Yeah, BLM is $1 billion domestic terrorist organization on her Instagram.
That's all right.
So I felt less bad for her because she had a public crash out, the actress, where she was like an alcoholic and stuff. She had to leave Hollywood and move back to Arizona. Anyway, quickly on the postmodernism of the show. We've already talked about this, right? But the show always found a way to talk about itself in a way that I thought was clever, right? Having the Valley was a useful device for the show to comment on the OC. Seth's extensive pop culture references, right? They exist in a world that has the same media that we do.
Yeah, not just like old stuff, but like contemporary stuff. When he's asking to describe a lesbian kiss, he says, was it like a Madonna Britney or was it like a Madonna Christina? They go to see Master and Commander at one point. They don't name drop the film, but they are talking about Russell Crowe. And like, Ben McKenzie kind of looks like a young Russell Crowe. And so Marissa says, everyone says Russell Crowe's so handsome, but I just don't see it. So it's like referencing other media and also self-referential in terms of itself. It's like a pretty interesting little postmodern flair on what is, on the surface, a pretty basic teen drama.
Which, you know, now some of that stuff feels a bit dated when you watch it, especially with the bands that they had on.
Mm-hmm.
But in the moment, it felt like it had its finger on the pulse of what was popular and what was cool. And like in and of itself became that, like it became like a cultural touch point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Other shows have great soundtracks, but I don't think other shows are discovering emerging artists the same way as the OC, you know? At one point, you have to look at the family tree of the people on this show by the end of it. Everybody is related to everybody through like 3 different ways. And there's a certain point in the second season where Summer says like, oh, and I thought my family was dysfunctional. And Marissa responds, hey, it's my family too. She has to remind her. And Summer was like, oh, right, I forgot. It's gotten confusing. Because like at a certain point, Marissa also becomes, I suppose, Ryan's aunt. Because Julie Cooper becomes Kirsten's stepmom at a certain point. There's a lot of insane relationships in this show.
Yeah, because it's kind of soapy and they got to fill 27 episodes, they got to keep everybody starting and ending new relationships, and you got a finite number of characters without bringing guest stars, and this family tree starts to look like a fucking Habsburg family tree because everybody's getting together and getting married and getting divorced, and there's a finite number of characters.
It is funny, if any listeners haven't watched the show or just like unaware, there's a YouTube video that just brings together all the previously on the OC, just like every, interstitial before every episode starts of season 1. It's like 12 minutes long. It's insane. Because I was like, I should watch a recap, refresh my memory. And it's like scrolling on Instagram with reels. It's just people yapping and punches being thrown, and we're not together anymore. And then 15 seconds later, it's like, I love you. I'll always love you.
Just watching the show from the previously on.
So good.
Seth, too, is commenting on the narrative structure in that first episode when the bullies are beating him up, right? He's like, you could beat me up, but that would be so cliche, right? Mm-hmm. There's another line I love from Seth where Zach, who's this guy who guest starred at the beginning of the second season, who's just like cool Seth, he comes back and Seth says to him, hey man, you came back. People never leave and come back. Right? Mm-hmm. Because like then you would have to bump the guest star up to series regular, so they rarely did it.
Mm-hmm. God, he really was. He's such like a prototype of Reddit banter guy.
Oh my
it's
God.
So bad.
I kind of forgive the banter in the show because they're kind of the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, the nature of how these people speak is like what every superhero movie sounds like now.
Yeah,
right?
It is fitting that he was a fucking comic book nerd, and then flash forward 20 years later and every Marvel movie sounds like Seth Cohen.
Yeah, the soy banter, I think, is one of the most striking features of this show, I noticed. It didn't make it so that I couldn't watch it, but it's hard not to imagine the way that Iron Man would go on to speak in that movie, or like any superhero, right? Where they're all like, okay, so like, I guess that's a thing,
Seth Cohen?
Hey, how you doing?
Excuse me, we were talking here.
Oh, so insulting him counts as conversation.
Yeah, well, if it doesn't, then we've never spoken. Summer, you remember Anna, right? She's moved here from Pittsburgh.
How could I forget?
Oh, hey, so we're gonna still be on for lunch today, right? She probably didn't even hear.
Seth, what are you doing? I thought you got past this whole summer thing at Cotillion.
Right, and I know, Anna, that it seems like not a lot of progress has been made, but I have to tell you, yeah, not that much progress has been made. Despite all my best judgments, I cannot not like her.
You're such a boy.
Well, whatever. I don't see what her problem is. I'm nothing but available to that girl.
All right. Right there. That's your problem. Girls like to be chased by guys that aren't into them.
And that sounds a little bit like a game to me, Anna. I don't really like to play games, okay? Unless we're talking about a little Saturday night Jenga, a little Magic the Gathering. I love Magic the Gathering.
Maybe you just don't know how to play.
Well, you're a girl, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And we're friends, right?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. So then why don't you train me in the ways of women, huh? Give me a little advice.
I don't understand the mind of chicks like Summer.
I'll teach you how to play Jenga.
You really like her?
Since I was 10.
Fine. But I make no promises.
Trust me, I cannot do any worse than I've been doing.
That I trust.
You're my girl.
The way that everybody speaks, it's very cutting and pop culture laced, self-effacing, but also antagonistic towards other people. It has a specific sensibility. Like the Gilmore Girls does the same thing, which I was surprised by because that on its surface is such a goyish show. Like it should be called the Goymore Girls. But the Gilmore Girls also has a Jewish showrunner from New York City. And so I think that this show and the Gilmore Girls are sort of like the post-grunge to Seinfeld's grunge, in the way that they're taking this almost Seinfeld-ish banter, but unfortunately it's happening in the 2000s and it's not as good.
The soy dialogue is used a ton for exposition
right
towards the beginning of episodes. When they're all hanging out in the kitchen having their morning coffee, that's usually the first scene.
And bagels and schmear.
To catch you, the viewer, up on what you need to know for this episode going forward. And I think it's really hard to define soy, but you know it when you see it. It's fast. Like Giordano said, it's self-effacing, It's very sarcastic. It's very winking at the audience, at how ridiculous it is. It's laden with pop culture references. And there's like a lot of jokes, quote unquote.
It's dry and wry, you know? Everything they're saying, they're sort of saying everything with a straight face, but with a, Like everyone is soy facing at all times.
A little bit more on a style. Pacing very quickly, like we said. It's amazing that there's 27 episodes. They're moving so fast. Clothing that they all wear, obviously very of the 2000s, right? Like you look at what the girls are wearing. Julie Cooper, Marissa Summer specifically. A lot of pink, a lot of teal, a lot of green, a lot of purple, a lot of bright colors that I feel like you don't really see that often. Marissa, there's like a running joke that she wears these newsboy caps, right? Very 2000s.
But they're like pink, right? They're not like the Peaky Blinders gray brimmed caps. They're like loud neon newsboy caps.
All of like the clothing and like the color palettes, I get like that, you know, like when if you were to chew tinfoil, like that feeling that you get like on the back of your teeth is like what I feel when I look at it. It's just like Hollister. I can almost like smell like when you walk into the Hollister, like holy shit. To its credit, it's so of that time. It feels like one of the best representations of style and fashion of that time.
Definitely. I mean, like Hollister was started in the year 2000, and I'm sure that they were trying to go for whatever this Newport Beach thing was trying to portray as well. You know, the juicy couture tracksuits worn by the Noopsies. Seth Cohen, his fucking style is insane. This guy, he wears so many Argyle vests over a white t-shirt, and his white t-shirt is hanging out of the bottom. It's the craziest decision. Like, not something that has since come back, unlike most Y2K fashion. It's funny, actually, a lot of the Y2K fashions in the show have not come back. Like the newsboy caps, the knitted bright colors, fucking the Argyle vests. Like nobody in the East Village is wearing an Argyle vest right now.
Not yet.
Ben Carlton might be the only guy. Oh, a lot of t-shirts over a long shirt. That's something that probably has come back.
Oh, that was a classic.
That's a classic combination.
I've said before on this pod, in the 2000s, the t-shirt over long shirt combo was a great way to tell everyone in the world, I like music.
Or it's like, I am not quite comfortable with my body.
Which is what Seth Cohen was. Okay, this is the last thing I have to say about the style. One of my favorite things about this show, and maybe it's because they had time to like breathe, is that they will show couples having fun together before they develop feelings for each other. Like a frequent complaint I've had about a lot of TV shows on this pod is it's like two characters are madly in love with each other and they're like, I love you. It's like, could we get a couple scenes of you guys having fun together, right? Seth, he kisses Alex in season 2, who's the Olivia Wilde character. And like before they kiss, they don't have a ton of time together, but at least they're teasing each other and doing banter. You know, like they have a playful relationship before that happens. And so I do find that they do a good job of showing you why these two characters might have affection for each other.
Yeah, they're upvoting each other's comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I love this from this show. I want a relationship to feel earned when I'm watching it. And even if it's something as light as showing the montage of Ryan, Marissa, and Seth having a good time on the pier, Seth on the skateboard, the other two on the bike. That's what it feels like to be a teenager. You're just like hanging out in whatever third space you can claw out for yourself. And these like very simple joys are these incredible highs that you have a hard time recapturing once you leave adolescence. It is just very sweet to see before they start to do the whatever, doe-eyed, I love you, blah, 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 blah. And even when the characters on the show say, there's a point where Marissa and Ryan have broken up and they're trying to be friends, and every character is saying, well, you were never friends. You were only ever a couple. We at least got to see the period of them being friends with a little bit. Like, I think the characters are kind of wrong when they say that, because the show has 27 fucking episodes and they're going to do a will they, won't they a lot. And when you do that, yeah, you have a little bit of time to breathe and like build the relationship up. Giordano accused me of normie maxing when I was rooting for Marissa and Ryan to get together.
Ben texted me and he's like, oh, I just want Marissa and Ryan to get together finally. And I'm like, Ben, you're normie maxing right now.
Were you soy facing when you were texting that? Oh, I hope they get together.
I was invested, okay? The show did what it needed to do.
Okay, so that's all we have on style. The show does eventually go off the rails, as we've mentioned. Season 3, unwatchable. Season 4 apparently is better. The author of the book says it's the best non-season 1 season. I think a lot of people are going to be upset, so I'm preempting people in the comments who are like, how come you didn't talk about the Rainy Day Women episode, which is one of the most iconic episodes of the show? This episode is not as good as people remember it being. I think that the A plot is great, which is about, it's raining a lot in LA. You know, they play the Blind Melon song. And Seth is like, finally gets back together with Summer, and she kisses him in a Spider-Man mask upside down. Oh, yeah. And it's like this iconic moment. But the rest of this episode is season 2 schlock, right? It's like Lindsay getting a DNA test to confirm that she's Caleb's daughter. Sandy meeting his old boomer revolutionary friend. Sandy has kind of a one battle after another reconnection with people from Berkeley. Sandy's old girlfriend is still on the run for like blowing up like an animal testing lab or something.
Hell yeah.
Based.
Okay, before we go out, just a couple hey, it's the 2000s moments I wanted to note. I thought it was funny in the Oliver plot line. Ryan is the only one who is trying to alert everyone that Oliver is dangerous. They shouldn't be hanging out with him. That Marissa shouldn't be hanging out with him. So he's going around telling everyone, look, he's dangerous. Marissa needs to stay away from him. I went through his report in the principal's office, like his personnel file, and I found out that he once slit his wrists over a girl. And so I do love the idea that they're like, Ryan is trying to tell people we can't hang out with him. He slit his wrists before.
He's bad news.
He's done self-harm before.
He's done self-harm, which is like a very 2000s tact. That whole thing with Ryan is a very 2000s tact, right? Where he's like being very overprotective of Marissa, and it turns out that he's right.
Oh, yeah. It's so bad. Oliver is a psychopath. He fakes a suicide attempt. He's super manipulative. He's super lying. He's like gaslighting. He's like hitting himself like crazy. Like
stupid.
Yeah. It's bad. Ryan acts crazy. He breaks into Marissa's locker and opens her mail and breaks into the principal's office to scour dirt on Oliver. And the conclusion of this plotline, after Ryan has just totally violated Marissa's trust, is that everyone agrees that Ryan was right the whole time because Oliver was a psychopath. All of the crazy shit that Ryan did, water under the bridge, turns out he was right the whole time. You know, nothing succeeds like success.
It's so funny in the scene when they get Oliver to put the gun down and Marissa runs over to Ryan and the first thing she says is, you were right.
You were right. I shouldn't have been hanging out with him because he slit his wrist.
You were right. Your ends justified your means.
And then this is the section here where I just wanted to allow us to gush over the music in this show. There's interviews with both Ben Gibbard of Death Cab and the lead singer of Modest Mouse. And they say, like, it sucks to admit, but we really did get popularized by a teen drama on Fox, you know? And people started showing up to our shows a lot more. It's like, you know, if they rebooted the OC and they introduced us to Geese or something.
I mean, it felt like, I think I said this earlier, but like finger on the pulse, particularly with the music. This feels like one of the last really good eras of rock, of like radio rock, you know, like acceptable rock and roll music that was popular, and they just played a role in that. Like, I think they popularized bands. They had bands play full songs on the shows, which is crazy. It doesn't seem like a normal thing that would happen now.
In the second season, one of the places they hang out at is a music venue called the Bait Shop. And you're right, there's several episodes where they go see The Killers perform months after Hot Fuss was released. The Killers are embarrassingly like my favorite band. You know, they play Mr. Brightside on the show.
We have to edit that out.
Where Seth has to see Summer on a date with someone else while they play Mr. Brightside live, right? So it's kind of mirroring what's going on in the song. Apparently, a lot of these bands, like I said, were kind of upset that this is how people knew about them, except for The Killers, who apparently were like the most professional and least pretentious, which is very in line with everything I've read about them, which is that like they don't consider themselves an indie rock band. Like they wanted to be Journey, you know?
This is also like that era of selling out was considered if you like put your song in a commercial, like in a car commercial.
Right.
To me, having your song on the OC was less of a sellout to do that because it was a popular teen show. You know, if you sold your song to Acura, that always felt like more of a betrayal.
Definitely. No, I think that's exactly what's happening. Is this is an era post Gen X where, yeah, you still have that Gen X sensibility of putting your song in a commercial is selling out, but also no one is buying CDs anymore. So like, what are we going to do? And one solution was, maybe you can go on the OC.
And like show your face and be like, look, I'm a hot rock star guy.
Right. Ben Gibbard has said that the OC paid for his first house.
Hell yeah.
But he also said that it's evidence of like a broader cultural shift towards preferences for indie rock and not necessarily like an isolated relationship.
They also use music to characterize our characters as cool. In the second episode, they're driving and they're talking about music. Seth is chirping Marissa, like, what do you even listen to? And she says, I listen to all genres, but I'm really into punk now. And she names a bunch of punk bands. And Seth Cohen goes, I listen to the same music as Marissa Cooper. I'm going to have to kill myself, is what he says. But this is the first of many hallelujah drops in this show. You know, Marissa makes Ryan a mix CD. Was there ever a greater sign of love in the early 2000s among cool kids? And he's listening to the mix CD in the model home where he's squatting. And that Jeff Buckley Hallelujah starts playing. And she walks in, she says, this song reminds me of you, or whatever. And you're like, you're using it to characterize her as like, not only is she the beautiful girl next door, she's also cool. She listens to the slow cover of the sad Leonard Cohen song, the sad, sexy Leonard Cohen song.
I think what you just said is my biggest takeaway. Cool. This show was cool, and the characters were cool, and it felt cool to watch it in the moment. Sure, 2 decades later, it probably does not hit the same, especially if someone was unengaged, has never watched it. But in the moment, this was a cool show.
No, in some ways it holds up better because the soundtrack is still great. Like, they'll drop an Interpol song, and I'm like, oh, this fucking rocks. This isn't some flash in the pan music taste. These are enduringly good music choices they made with new bands, which makes it even more impressive. There were a couple musicians that turned down the OC. They wanted to include an Arcade Fire song, and Arcade Fire said no.
Canadians. Classic Canadian.
They didn't want to sell out. And the Arctic Monkeys also said no. California, here we come, right back where we started from.
I never liked that band, so that's like, yes, the Shrek Arctic Monkeys cover.
We've been on the run.
I love you, Marissa.
I want you to tell me right now, what part of England are the Arctic Monkeys from? Because I'm sure you don't know it.
All right, let's hear you try to sing the Arctic Monkeys in Manchester.
I said, who's that girl there? I wonder what went wrong so that she had to roam the streets.
No, you have to do a parody.
This is like season 3, the OC, off the rails here. Wait, I want to make a 2000s point. Isn't this a fucking 2000s podcast? Would you like me to?
Of course.
I have your blessing.
Of course.
To me, this is the sweet spot of phones. No one is texting. Texting doesn't really exist.
Right.
But there is, I think it's in the pilot. I know I keep bringing up the pilot. Everyone who's listening is going to be like, he only watched the pilot episode. But when they are at the fucking cool party, the big party, everyone's drinking, doing drugs, whatever, Ryan is outside and he looks over and there's like 4 girls and they're all talking on their phone. They're having conversations on their cell phones. And he looks over at them with like a disdain. And it's like, talk about how prescient that is. Obviously, it's pre-texting. I'm sure texting existed at this time, but people weren't doing it regularly. But this show hits that sweet spot of, I got to use a payphone, or I'm just going to go over to their house. Things that would be foreign to teenagers now, it hits the sweet spot of that existing pre-texting, but with cell phones.
Right.
It's like when you had minutes on your phone that like you could only use your phone for emergencies.
Yeah, and there was so little you could do with it. They're actually kind of at the same moment that Hasidic Jews seem to be in with cell phones. Like, they have the flip phone, and so maybe they just love the OC.
Yeah, they're just doing a shout out to the OC.
I love Seth Cohen.
Your rent is due, by the way.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Ryan uses a payphone, actually, in the first episode. I think he even makes a collect call, which I don't even think you could do. But you're right. It doesn't seem to dominate their reality. It's only useful sometimes.
Which is like really refreshing to watch and remember that. Remember Shuffle that.
Remember Shuffle that.
Thanks, Dan.
I mean, in The Matrix, they have that line about how the Matrix exists in the year 2000 because it represents the pinnacle of technology and civilization. That's what Dan's saying about the phones.
I think my comments spoke for themselves, but that's okay.
All right. Finally, our echoes in the culture. How did the OC reverberate through history? And I think the most enduring legacy of this show are the Real Housewives show. The Real Housewives of Orange County is the original Bravo reality show documenting the personal and professional lives of affluent women with very little to do but engage in interpersonal drama. That show was often filming in Newport Beach, right? And the creator of The Real Housewives of Orange County has said that it's based off Desperate Housewives, technically, but the creators of that show have said that they were trying to do what the OC was doing, essentially, but more about the adults. Is what Lloyd Braun said about Desperate Housewives. It was greenlit because of the OC. And so, yeah, I mean, if you love Bravo, which I know Dan does.
So much, dude.
You have the OC to thank for identifying this thing that we wanted to see more of like these rich people with very little to do. Josh Schwartz would go on to make Gossip Girl. And in terms of what they're up to right now, Stephanie Savage, a Canadian writer, one of the main writers on the OC, her and Josh Schwartz are currently working on a Clueless TV show.
We were all dying for another reboot.
I love the movie. I love Clueless. Great movie, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, closing thoughts.
This show's so fucking good. That's my closing thought. Is like, as someone who was only tangentially related to it in the 2000s, like I said, I watched half a dozen episodes. I was in the periphery of people who were watching it. I fucking love this show. It hit me with the nostalgia real hard. Love the soundtrack, love the characters, love the writing. I recommend. I might actually keep watching this show, not for work for the pod, but for pleasure. This show made me book a trip to Southern California.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I was like kind of thinking about doing it anyways, and this was the push I needed to actually book the airfare and get there. You could do a hell of a lot worse in the OC. I know I've taken a lot of flack on this, my own show, from Giordano, my co-host, for not having finished Sopranos.
But I think you might have seen more episodes of the OC now than you have of The Sopranos.
I mean, you should finish the OC before you finish The Sopranos, definitely.
That might actually be true. And I don't know what that says about me and my personality. Maybe I just have bad taste. But The Sopranos, if we were to compare this to books, The Sopranos is like literature. It's like sitting down and reading fucking Moby Dick, you know, like great American literature. The OC is like sitting down and reading fucking Stephen King, man. It's a page turner. You don't want to put it down.
It's candy. It tastes good.
It's Dan Brown.
No, it's at least a Stephen King. It's at least a Michael Crichton.
Okay. Right.
It's not Dan Brown. That's my closing thoughts. My closing thoughts are it's fucking good and I liked it way more than I thought it would. And you should watch it. It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too that I've heard that because it's on streaming services, a new generation of teenagers is watching the OC, which isn't this what like Mark Fisher's point in Capitalist Realism, that like at a certain point culture stops and it just keeps re-imitating itself, right? Because it's easier that way, like more profitable. But the idea that teens now are watching the OC is definitely a check mark in the Mark Fisher point column, because we in 2005 certainly weren't watching teen dramas from the 80s.
Nope.
I couldn't even name one.
Yeah, no, we were watching the stuff that was on TV. We were watching Smallville. We were watching the OC. Whereas teens in 2026, for some reason, are watching Gossip Girl and watching Veronica Mars. And to a lesser extent, I think they're watching the OC.
Yeah. And then I think the other point that I wanted to make was just that, like any TV show now, there are several episode by episode recaps of the show by the former cast. You know, like Talking Sopranos, but for the OC. It's called Welcome to the OC, Bitch by Melinda Clarke and Rachel Bilson, who everyone always says whenever they're talking about people on set, those two always have the nicest things to say about them. I will say one of my complaints about this iteration of the cast talking about their former TV show is there's far too much time on that podcast dedicated to talking about how nice everyone is and how they're a great friend and they love them, right? It's always like, oh yeah, you know, Adam, like he's such a great friend and I love him. I haven't spoken to him in 15 years, but I would love to. And there's like a lot of time wasted with that. I really wish that they would just assume that I think that they love everybody and that they had a great time working with them and that they would love to see them again. And we could just move on from there.
Yeah.
And I think it's just tough when you're a member of the cast. It's probably harder to like talk shit about something. But everybody kind of is in agreement that the third season had lost its magic.
Yeah.
It's just too much. You know, it's funny. This show, quote unquote, has 4 seasons. But I think by any modern standard, this show really has more like 7 seasons in terms of the number of episodes.
Yeah.
Like if you compare it to a modern drama, it's putting out 27 episodes in that first season, right?
Yeah.
Which is basically like at least 2 seasons of a show now.
Yeah, I think this is a product of the rapid fire pacing and the number of episodes that they have, where just so much fucking happens constantly. They just go. It's a question of volume, how much they have. And I think it's a point in this show's favor in terms of its dynamism. If you want to make the comparison to shows nowadays, House of the Dragon has 10 episodes, maybe 8 for that second season. And it's a show that I like. I liked the first season more than the second. But there is so much table setting constantly. Whereas appropriate for the OC because Kirsten doesn't cook and they're always eating takeout. There's no table setting. We just eat.
No.
We're just eating for 27 episodes.
That's so true. There isn't table setting. This show is living on the edge. Every episode is both like setting the table and eating at the same time. It's incredible. Crazy. It is like looking at the ruins of Rome in the Dark Ages and being like, how did they do this? Something like House of the Dragon. How many years between seasons does that show have?
I think 2 full years.
2 full years between seasons, and then 8 episodes a season. Or how many episodes a season?
I think the first season had 10 and the second had 8.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's 12 and 10. The second had even fewer episodes and less happened.
And more time to prepare. Wild. Bravo to the creators of the OC. My closing thoughts were just that I think Seth Cohen becoming the teen heartthrob of this show was very indicative of where the culture was at and where it was going to go, right? Like, I remember visiting my cousins in Italy and sleeping in their childhood bedroom in 2013, and they had all of these posters of Dio-Chi up on the wall of Adam Brody. And it's like the nerd in this show ended up being the biggest teen heartthrob, which I think is like a marked shift from what the 90s would have been or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, typically the Luke character would have been the heartthrob.
Yeah, or the Ryan.
Or the Ryan. And Ryan was still a heartthrob. I mean, Ryan's gorgeous. We love Ryan.
But not as much as Adam Brody. Anyway.
No. And I think that's important. You know, probably not for the positive in terms of where culture ended up, but, you know, it certainly feels like a watershed show. And I agree with Ben. It fucking rocks. Like, season 1 and most of season 2 are like absolute must watch, I feel.
Definitely. Yeah. It was so hard to turn it off sometimes. It was not work. A lot of times I'm doing work for the show, but that's not the case this week. I want to tell a quick story from high school. So I was working at this restaurant, and that guy that I said like modeled his personality off of Seth Cohen. No. We became like really good friends, best friends. And he was like, you got to watch the show, The OC. I've just based my personality off of it. And so I binged it, and then there was this hostess who got hired at the restaurant, and we both really liked her, and so we started fighting. And so it became like a plot from the OC, and it's like one of the things I associate the most because, I was so emotional over that girl. Like, we would be working together and be like fighting. We were driving everyone else at the restaurant insane. But a nice little 2000s nugget I remember is he had like a lackey, like his sidekick, this other guy that I was feuding with. And that guy liked the show Heroes so much after the first season that he got a Heroes tattoo on his arm.
Dear God.
Which is like, imagine bricking a tattoo decision larger than that, right? Like, you're like, Heroes, this is the show that I'm going to immortalize. But yeah, this show just reminds me so much of my own high school experience in like the stupid fucking melodramatic interpersonal drama you get yourself into. Dan, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, great show. Thanks for having me on. We talked a lot about Trojan horses today. This is just my Trojan horse to get you guys to do a fucking episode about Wonder Shows.
I'm ready to go, man. Tell Ben. Or if you're listening, if you're in the audience, leave a comment that you want to hear a Wonder Shows episode.
I'm going to make 500 sock puppet accounts and just leave the comments.
It made me laugh out loud. I did like it.
Talk about cultural touchdowns. It's the most important show in the history of television. It must be. No one has discussed it. We must discuss it.
I don't think there are any other Wonder Show. There's no episode by episode Wonder Shows in recap.
I'm ready for it. Maybe I'm going to start my own podcast called Forget Shuffle, and it's about Wonder Shows.
Every episode is about Wonder Shows. Thank you to Dan.
Yeah, I don't really use Instagram anymore, but follow Troop_hater, Twitter as well.
Twitter as well, yeah. But we'll link both in the description. Go to that right now. Give Dan a follow. We love Dan. And
whoever, don't say that I have vocal fry again. I'm sorry. Someone commented the last time I did an episode and was like, his vocal fry, not great.
Seth Cohen commented that.
Yes, that has been your Remember Shuffle retrospective on the OC. Thank you, as always, for listening. Please please subscribe, write us a comment, encourage us to do Wonder Shows, and we'll bring Dan back. Huge thank you to Dan for coming on. This is a long one, but it's been a blast.
Giving us hours of his time, rewatching the OC. Thank you so much.
I do it for you, boys.
Beautiful stuff. Cool. All right. Yeah, welcome to the Shuffle, bitch. Let's go.
We'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.